Oh my, oh my, oh my, good evening and happy Wednesday, my fellow exiles. I hope you are all doing great. Tonight we're starting a little bit early because my family's not home and I've been alone since the end of work. So I use that time to play a bunch of different video games, right? Wrong. I did all the dishes. I cleaned up all the toys in my daughter's room and the living room. I vacuumed the house. I mopped the hardwood. I did the kitty litter. I went on a run. And I doom scrolled through the comments on my latest video. Whoa! You thought I was going to be fully productive. Well, let me not keep you in the dark any longer, live viewers and people watching the VOD. If you're watching the VOD, I say it every single time. Leave a comment, like, really helps. The VODs have been popping off on YouTube, so thank you, thank you, thank you. It really helps, especially during this lull here in content. So, what are we doing tonight? Well, we are 8 days from the reveal of The Last of the Druids, and Delve League? We don't know what the league name is yet. So we're going to do some predictions. We're going to do some hype. We have a podcast tonight that begins in about 40 minutes with Vinidiction. Some of you may know who this is. Some of you might not know who this is. He actually has done a lot of guides on PoE2, and he's basically a PoE2 only creator. And he he popped off for a drama reason in 0.3. So we're going to chat with him about our predictions for the Last of the Druids update. It should be fun. Timestamps will be below, and I'll upload the podcast as a VOD on the main channel right after this stream ends, and it will be on all your podcasting apps: Spotify, Apple Podcast, Patreon, and remember, no commercials if you are a $1 or greater patron. Get to listen to the podcast, no commercials. Pretty cool. Download them, no commercials. Every single podcast I've ever done. Pretty cool benefit. So that will be fun. Thought we had something else that oh, yes. There's a few interesting little Reddit thread tidbits that I thought that I would go through as well. So, chill stream tonight. Tomorrow is Thanksgiving. My first Thanksgiving of 2 Thanksgivings. It's going to be a busy day, but I think I have a video idea for tomorrow morning. So we might actually get out a main channel video. And I say main channel video because there's been this weird creator, guys, who's been waking up really early in the morning and posting videos on a channel, and they've been doing really well. You guys want to see who it is? Their name is Talkative Try Extras. Whoa, Talkative Try Extras. How interesting is that? Wow. This is my second channel, guys. It's like slop content, if you can imagine me doing any sloppier content, right? Where I'm literally just, no production value. I literally just turned on the camera and I just yapped. So if you want to see that, you can go ahead and subscribe to it. I did a review of the Path of Exile 1 League. No production value, no cuts, just me blabbing at the camera. It's really bad. And then I did a video this morning talking about the last Epoch drama, which we can also talk about in this stream, you guys. So that really is depressing. I feel bad. I don't know what everybody's opinions are on the last Epoch drama, but I really thought it was depressing. And yes, I know the thumbnail is not helping with the allegations. Very funny stuff, guys. I almost wrote, what is it? It's so hard. What's the thumbnail for this video? It was almost, I'm so hard. What was it? I don't know. I jokingly wrote, I'm so hard, and I had a little bit of a different title. But of course, we are child appropriate for the most part. Okay? Child appropriate. So, okay, that's the intro. That's the beautiful intro. Let's cut the intro right there. Let's go into the live chat. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Oh, there's people. Hey, Gabagool. What's going on? SKD. Hey, Brian. Sup? Hey, Einhar Jernor. Nice name. Nice name. I think we're going to see Einhar in the next expansion, by the way, guys. I think that's my little secret theory. Hey, Eric King. Hey, Marielle. So what's the over-under on getting the Werecat Ranger Ascendancy? Beastmaster? Man. I mean, it would be cool. But I think I think Beastmaster's dead. Hey, Mr. Shishu. 16 days from launch, 8 days away from the actual reveal. Hey, Random Mishaps, just bought a ROG Xbox Ally. Can't wait to play PoE 2 on the go. You think it's going to run PoE 2 on the go? PoE 2 can run on a Steam Deck? Well, I don't know. Brian, Act 4 The Last Boss talks about tech corrupting. Could Jonathan use that as a vision change for skill use from PoE 1 lore skill gem tech as new lore on why we do not use any more corruption Act 4 boss? Whoa, Neverborn Lucky. That is a confusing sentiment. Scale gems have always corrupted. Scale gems have always corrupted. They just corrupt people in different ways. That's why we put them in our equipment in PoE 1. I assume the same is true for PoE 2. I think I asked Jonathan about this. I think he said, yeah, we put them in your equipment, even though technically they're not sliding directly into your equipment. People used to experiment on people. People used to experiment on people. The Val and the Eternals and multiple other cultures, the Oriathans, they experimented on people in Rayclast with gems. The gemlings are a product of that. Dominus is literally experimenting with thaumaturgy and gems in PoE 1's campaign. It's a thing. It's always been a thing. I know. I always start with this soliloquy, guys. D4 bad, Ellie dead, GGG keeps winning. I mean, you know, I don't want to be tribalistic, guys, but I feel like that's kind of true. Okay, I know people enjoy D4. Okay, and I know people enjoy LE, but I feel like grinding your games keeps coming out ahead with 2 games under their belts. Man, the last Epoch situation, I feel, honestly, I do not envy EHG. I said it in my little video. It's Icarus and Daedalus. It's Icarus flying too close to the sun despite probably getting warnings. I bet grinding your games like talked to EHG about, hey, you know, be careful. They grew too fast. They had too many developers. They weren't profitable. Judd said they weren't profitable. They were going to have to close the studio if they didn't get investment. I don't think grinding your games was in that scenario when Tencent bought them out. I think grinding your games said, we want to get stupid rich and we want to expand our game massively. I think that's what happened in 2018, and they showed it immediately. The expansion quality for PoE 1 went way up. They had Exile Con 1 the year after. You know, I feel like Last Epoch needed to have substance when this buyout occurred, and it didn't. It did not have any substance. Unfortunately, they don't have any cool new stuff to show. They don't have any real timeline. They don't have any information on what the pay to play Paradox classes are. It's just a rough one. Try. Think you could get DM on one more time before the new league starts to do a stream together? Maybe. DM did invite me on to his stream to talk about the Druid, but he streams while I'm working and while my kids are awake. And his stream is typically over by the time that I pop in. So, I'm not sure what to say. Maybe we can collab. We'll have to see. I'm so tired of fire, cold, lightning. Give me poison, baby Druid. Oh man, I'm not caught up on the last Epoch news. Oh boy. Oh boy. I've just begun creating a script for my first ever PoE 2 essay video. Maybe I'll complete something for the first time. Mr. Shishu, you got it, man. Pump it out. We need a petition for GGG to reel Bex back from Riot. She's not at Riot anymore, Vandal. She's at a different company. She left Riot a while ago. She's working on an isometric extraction game. I think it's Bonfire Studios. I think that's where Bex is. Yeah, she's not at Riot. It doesn't perform the way you want on the Steam Deck. Okay. It's on GeForce now. Okay. I can't wait for the stream next week. I'm also, dude, I'm hyped. I'm going to literally burst. I think that's the title of the stream. I don't actually remember the title of the stream. I am literally going to burst. I hope that it's good, guys. My brother-in-law and I were talking about the Wyvern potential form. And honestly, I don't know about the Wyvern form. I guess it could work. You could have... I just think a Chimera form would work better. But Wyvern could also be poison. You got the stinger tail. You got maybe some flying. Wyvern could work, but I couldn't see a bipedal Wyvern. They'd have to do it where, you know, you're down on your wings and your legs, you know, crawling along the floor. Something serpentine would be pretty sick. My older friend, one of the 60-year-old friends that plays PoE 2, one of originally my dad's friends, now my dad's friend, my friend too. He said a snake form, like a boa constrictor or a python or something like that, a were python. I think that would be pretty cool, but how would you make that work? Ellie has console graphics. Yeah, one of the big... Hey, kitty, what's going on? Do you want to say hi to everybody? Say hello to everybody. Well, one of the things is Ellie wanted to monetize with a microtransaction store and supporter packs, but their microtransactions are terrible. They're just not compelling, guys. They're not sick. The game isn't... It's not as visually pleasing as a Path of Exile 1, a PoE 2, even a Diablo 4. It's just not as pleasing, right? Go full-time streaming one day. Hey, your streams always begin when I go to sleep, so I never watch them, but I always watch all your YouTube videos. You're awesome. Continue your amazing work. You do a lot for their PoE 2 community. Ped Valho, thanks so much, man. I appreciate you watching the streams on YouTube. Thank you. We are getting a podcast tonight with Vinidiction. Cool title. I am also going to bust once the season releases. Yeah, it's a good thing it's in December, right, man? Hard? Yeah. What? Yeah, hard. Yeah, it's so hard to wait, dude. Yeah. It's super hard to wait. Plan to do a werewolf lightning druid? Oh. The only apparent druid in PoE 2 is the rotten druid in the Grim Tangle. Yeah, in Act 1. He's nurturing blight mushrooms. What's the blight crafting mechanic? Dude, no. If they introduce blight as a tower defense form... I really hope blight's not... I know there's some blight enjoyers. They would have to really revamp it. I do not like blight in PoE 1. So... One of the reasons people like blight is because you turn your mind off. Okay, I already do that in PoE 1, but with blight, it's even more... Okay, I figured it out, okay? I turned my mind off in Path of Exile 1, and I'm totally good with that. But it's too much if I have to stay in the same place, okay? And you know when you have to do that? The new breach mechanic when you're defending Aelith and blight. That just totally checks me out of the game. When I'm just standing there, and I was playing slams, and I'm just going boom, 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 boom for 30 seconds or a minute. It's just not... I get it. It's for some people. I feel like it would be too early to introduce blight. Give us something cooler, give us something new, or completely revamp blight. There are too few mechanics in Path of Exile 2 to slap blight in there. That is my take. I stole my dad's friends. I did. What's my starter class? Druid, bro. Could the Wyvern stuff refer to a pet? It was called Wyvern form, apparently, in the data mining. Jazzrus just put out a good rant about possible Druid forms. Oh, really? Hey, Aiden, what's going on, man? Hope you're having a good one, dude. Would love to see Goblin Incorporated, and you do a collab video. Goblin Incorporated. Who is Goblin Incorporated? Goblin Incorporated. Help you master Diablo 4. Oh, does he? But he also plays PoE 2. Path of Exile 2, loot from 12 hours, King of the Mist. Bro has some AI thumbnails. Those are all the rage. I just can't do it. I can't do the AI thumbnails, guys. Oh yeah, he played quite a bit of PoE 2. PoE 2 and Diablo 4. I think Dreamcore met him in LA. I think Dreamcore said Goblin Inc. was pretty cool. I've never seen one of his videos pop up, but he has more subs than I do. That sounded really arrogant. I didn't mean it in that way. How is my dad? He has been hunting in a state far away for the past 3 weeks. He's returning next week. I would like him, my brother and I, to do a podcast together about 0.4. So I'll see if I can get him to do that. I hate Blight too. Do I play Monk a lot? I do. Yes, I played Monk to endgame in 0.1 and 0.3. Oh yeah, Hollow Palm technique was super fun. It is very melee though, so be prepared. You need to move around a lot. There's lots of ground effects in 0.3, especially when it comes to Abyss. Try has been convinced Druid bad by Red. I have not been convinced Druid bad. Druid good. I just saw a lot of people coming out and saying, actually, I'm not that excited for Druid once, you know, the Druid was announced to be in. Okay, let's see. Dude, if PoE 2 endgame sucks, we are rioting. Well, I hope it just pleases more people. I see the... I've talked about the problems with it before. I just don't like how aimless the endgame feels. You don't feel like you're progressing. The Atlas trees aren't great. There's only one pinnacle boss, and I don't think Arbiter of Ash is actually that great after going back to PoE 1 and fighting those pinnacle bosses. So it has a lot of problems, but I guess it's not as much as a problem for me as it is for a good chunk of other players who burn out on the game far faster. You know, I might be getting to endgame by the time people have killed the Arbiter like 4 times, right? So I burn out a lot slower, and I don't find those problems as quickly. And maybe others share that same sentiment, although I'd say the people who might share that sentiment with me might not push through if they find the progression lacking or if they get lost on the Atlas map. So I feel like selfishly, I know a lot of you. Ooh, okay, come on, push back. Leave a comment. Tell me in the chat. Do you guys think that creating a higher ceiling for our builds to push is the most important thing, or is fixing progression and how the end game operates fundamentally is more important? Because I think a lot of my content creator friends, they think the ceiling thing is a problem. And that's what they usually voice. But I would go in the opposite direction, and I'd say start at the source. Start at the initial endgame. You got to get that endgame loop good first, and then you can start crafting pinnacle content. Yeah? Okay, I got to go back. What's a fun build to do a fresh SSF restart? Bro, I don't know. I would... SSF? I don't know, maybe minions? So are you it's not I'm getting hard. The thumbnail does not say I'm getting hard. The thumbnail says it's getting hard. It's getting hard to wait for the Druid. I was so close. I will not lie. I was baiting a little bit with it, but I didn't feel like I'd get this many comments in the live chat. Oh boy, oh boy. I am ready for Thanksgiving. I'm not hosting. I'm going to 2 different ones. Goblin Ink fell off a bit with D4. Oh, he was a Druid main in D4. Okay. I'm not going to lie. Endgame is mad boring. No, it is, but dude, Stig. Bro, I agree with you. The Twitch title? Did I miss? The Twitch title said... Oh my God. No. Okay. All right. No, you guys are right. All right. So, okay, just for the record, let me show you what I thought it was. Okay, because I didn't copy paste the YouTube title, to be fair. Okay, this is the YouTube thumb. Okay, it's getting so hard. Kind of funny, right? Haha. Could be whatever, right? YouTube thumb. And I typed out the Twitch title, and it's so hard to wait right now. Oh, that was unintentional. Okay. Okay, we have fixed it. Thank you guys for pointing it out. Okay. Oh crap. Okay. Thank you, L Short. Thank you for pointing that out to me, bro. Probably depends who I'm catering. Okay, so back to the end game point. Probably depends on who you're catering to. Who should PoE 2 cater to? But I feel like it can cater to everyone. I think to get people to go to the hardest part of endgame, you got to hook them with the initial part of endgame. And I think that is fundamentally broken right now. I was thinking about it. And you know, in PoE, sorry, I played so much PoE 1 the past month, so I keep going back to it. But they haven't nailed down, guys. They just haven't nailed down. Okay? They don't need to copy 1-to-1. I'm just saying, I don't want them to. I want them to be distinct games. But PoE 2 T1 Waystones feel almost identical to Tier 15 Waystones. Almost no difference. I don't feel that way between Tier 1 maps and Tier 16 maps in PoE 1. I don't even want to talk about T17 maps. I don't like T17 maps. They piss me off. Not a controversial take, I don't think. But I think they need to fix that initial part and really hook people into the beginning of endgame. So I hope, as opposed to doing, okay, aspirational content. If it's next Thursday and the stream is like only focusing on, okay, we're redoing the Atlas passive tree. Okay, that's cool. And then adding more aspirational content, I will be disappointed. I think a lot of my brethren will be happy. I think some of you will be happy. I think a lot of people who are able to push their builds to the max will be very happy, but I will be sad. Because I think the true problem lies within the progression from Tier 1 Waystones to Tier 15. I think that can be a lot more fun. I think the Atlas exploration gimmick can be a lot more fun. I hope that fundamentally changes. Ceiling is a small player count. I totally agree. Most people aren't even completing endgame more than once a season. Yep. I hate being forced to do bad maps to prog map revamp, please. Well, blog CGTV. I'm thinking of kind of a system in which maybe you hunt down each different map, like tile set, and that's how you get all your initial Atlas points and everything. I think that'd be kind of a fun initial start to it. And I know some people were saying, oh, well, if each different unique tile set is locking your Atlas points, then RNG might lock you out of maxing out your Atlas. I think in conjunction, they'd need to add some sort of way to terraform the Atlas. I keep going back to this idea because I think it would be so cool and unique if you could terraform the Atlas, if you could change the terrains with your Atlas passive skill tree, if there were currency items where you could use it on a node and it transforms to another node or causes all nodes within 10 to become one type of map, or change a desert to a forest. Really lean into this being a world that you're exploring. Right now, it just feels like a whole bunch of disconnected nodes, even though they're all connected. You guys know what I mean. Disparate nodes. Okay. All right. Back to the top. I'm not going to lie, my ad game is mad, but yeah. On your Discord, there was some friendly controversy about MF. I'm guessing you meant Magic Find. I personally like it. Mind commenting on your thoughts on the matter? Yep. Here are my thoughts. You guys are going to think I'm an idiot, a liar, blasphemous, but I have 60 hours of my PoE 2 gameplay up on stream, so you could, or up on my YouTube channel, so you can see it. I didn't even have any Magic Find to gear on my character. Did that get my progress? Massively. Was I getting way less currency drops? Yes. Did I care? No. Was it hurting me? Yes. Okay. What's my opinion? If I was the game director, I would probably take it off gear and I would make the most difficult content give the most rewards. I'd try to scale that proportionally. That's really hard to do though, right? As opposed to baking your greater rewards in gearing out on Magic Find. I literally had 0 rarity on my gear. People thought I was lying. I'm not lying. Progression, your content creator friend plays an average of 30 hours a day. They are not the average player. Okay, Vince, I know I like to speak in hyperbole. Remember, there are 24 hours in a day. All right, let's go with something a little, how about 20 hours a day? They play 20 hours a day? How about that? Okay. All right. Says I'm so hard. Wow, I am way behind. DM is streaming right now. Oh, shoot. Well, I have a podcast, so dang. I didn't even see. Play Project D2? No. No, I don't have the time, bro. I don't. Oh, did I miss anything? Okay. Let's see. Let's see. They should make interludes to be a mini act on endgame. Like you only have 6 revives to finish the whole act. You can't do it again. Yeah, I think trying something very experimental would be pretty fun. I do like the idea of focusing on biomes. They could have some league mechanics linked to certain biomes. Yes, different drops for target farming, different bosses, maps, and so on. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, Mr. Shishu. I've never faced the Arbiter Ash after 100 hours. I want more diverse stuff, not a high ceiling. True, Ice Cold Snake. What's going on, Ice Cold Snake? Shout out to Snake. Check out his YouTube channel. He does awesome game reviews of games I've never played. Tons of Xbox game reviews, retro game reviews. They're pretty good. I've watched a few of them, though I have no idea what's going on because I never played any of them. I was a Neverwinter Nights, Baldur's Gate, Age of Mythology kid. Had a PS2, a GameCube, and then a Wii. Never had an Xbox. Parents did not let me play first-person shooters. I was banned from playing Halo, Call of Duty, Combat Arms, all that sort of stuff. So sheltered, guys. What do you do for a living, by the way? I work in paid media. I work in marketing. Behind the scenes, though. Optimizing ad campaigns. Recruitment. We play in Druid, or 100% we're playing Druid. Right now? No, I'm not getting exclusive access to the Druid. If I was getting exclusive access to the Druid and playing it live on stream, that would be plastered over every social media platform. Don't you worry. Make rarity a harder stat to hit? No, because then everybody it just becomes like more harder to get that gear. I just don't have it. This is, you know, it's the conundrum. Like, I don't have a dog in the fight, but I do. Personally, I don't care about it. I'm fine being left behind because I'm not trying to earn as much money as possible. I'm not playing the game to earn currency. I'm playing the game to have fun, to kill monsters, to fight bosses because it feels good, because I like experiencing the story. I know that's funny to a lot of you. Because I like experiencing the different environments, because I like the gameplay loop. I'm not playing to get currency. Sure, it's cool when I get a cool drop that nets me a lot of currency, but I'm not specifically playing to earn 10 div orbs an hour, right? I'm not playing so that I can kill the Arbiter of Ash in 5 seconds. Like I said, I killed the Arbiter of Ash in 3.5 minutes, Uber Arbiter of Ash. That was great. That was fun to me. I really enjoyed it. A lot of you are probably scoffing right now or thinking that I'm not a real PoE player or an ARPG player because, oh, well, that's not the typical fantasy. I want to blow everything up. I want to be immortal. Sure, I get that. But if to achieve that, I have to grind my butt off. Who is texting me? Burt's Bee's Baby. Okay, my wife must have signed me up for something. If I have to grind for a ton of time to achieve that, if I have to play the market against 200,000 other players, I don't care. I could not care less. But I know that, a lot of people want me to have their opinion because I make videos on it, or they want me to rep their opinion. I do my best to try to represent all opinions. That's why I talk to so many different diverse voices, because I think it's worthwhile. But I personally don't hold those opinions. And I preach you not to hold those opinions either. Not that many people listen to me. So. Neverwinter Nights Aurora tool set was everything. Yep. Why were you banned from first-person shooters? My parents just didn't want the violence around me. That's it. The guns. The guns, which is, my dad's a big gun guy. Like, he hunts and everything, and he's got, he hunts, so he has like rifles. So when is the interview with GGG? I can't say the date because Jonathan needs to confirm it. So I'm going to respect them and not say the date, but I do have a date for the interview. I just am not announcing it publicly until they give me the go ahead. I mean, I could check to see if they have told me while I was live if it's confirmed or not. Let me see. I doubt it though. Nope. No DM. Okay. You don't play to earn currency, but people do. Right. They do. Exactly. The meta is always the most effective farm. Right. No, I totally get that. See? The funnest builds take currency. I see that's everybody's opinion. See, that's why I just don't talk about it a lot, because it's so alien to me. Like I get why people have very strong views on Magic Find. I just don't see it as like an essential truth about the game. The stat should be removed or only tied to the amulet you wear. That's it. Whoa, big. Oh yeah, the Citadel RNG, not cool. I hate it. That needs to change. I only found one set of Citadels my entire time playing PoE2 this league. One set of Citadels. That's crap. It must be based on the seed. You just must... or it's right outside the fog. That's frustrating. They should make fighting the Soul Pinnacle deterministic. They should. It should not be random. It shouldn't be. What's the highest level I ever got in a league? In PoE 1, I have like 7 or 8 level 100s. In PoE 2, level 95. PoE 2, it's way harder to get XP, I feel like. You can't juice your maps as much. It's far easier to die. Death is way more punishing. So yeah, only level 95 in PoE 2. Fair, but what if someone wanted to try Temporalis? Well, that's the thing. Some items are in ARPGs, they are locked out from people who can't farm the... I don't know what to say. Guys, there will be stuff that if you want it in games like this, you will need to farm out of your mind to get. Or luck out and have the skill to earn it. That's Temporalis, right? Because you need to luck out getting the relic drop, and then you need to ball out with skill and clear the no-hit run in Trial of Sekima. Okay? I just accept that's a fundamental truth about the game. Right? It's like me getting a Mirror of Kalandra. Do I expect to have a good one? No. Would it be cool if I got one? Yes. It's one of the reasons you play the game, for those little moments, right? I am accepting of the fact that there are just some things that I will never experience in a game like PoE 1 or PoE 2, right? Or even a game like Elden Ring. I'm never going to experience, the bosses in that game because I'm not skilled enough to kill them. I have very little... FOMO is real. Fear of missing out. It's a real phenomenon. Phenomenon. And I am not affected by it. Try, what's the update on the Flubgun podcast? I reached out to him on Twitter and email. I haven't checked my Twitter DMs today, so I don't know if he responded there. But people said that he doesn't look at email, so I'm hoping he looks at Twitter. Do you work for one of the big 6 holding companies? No. What do you think PoE 2 in 5 to 10 years? I think it's going to be the best ARPG on the market. Edgar Allan PoE 2? One day, I hope. One day, I would love to. Got to ask GGG for the streamer seed? Yeah, I think Connor, who I have a podcast with, by the way. It sounds like he announced it to his stream. December 21st, I think. Yeah, Connor Converse. One mana left. I think he found, what, did he say hundreds of Citadels? That's not me. Well, you always get 3 Citadels right next to each other. They changed that, but I only found 1 cluster of the 3 Citadels my entire time. Where are the teasers? I don't know, man. I'm gonna burst. I'm gonna burst with no teasers. Any guests tonight? Yep, Vinidiction. In 8 minutes, we're gonna get him on here. It'll be interesting. I've barely talked to the guy, so podcast might totally crash and burn. Try, can you give any hope to the Last Epoch community? My hope is as follows, guys. Your Last Epoch is still alive only because Krafton bought them out. They made a series of decisions that led to the moment they were in. You can't reverse time. There's no time machine. They were either going to stop working on Last Epoch and you get no more Last Epoch updates, or they had to sell out to a publisher and then meet those publishers' demands. They chose to meet the publisher demands. And if you think that EHG, Judd, and Mike, and Carve, and all those devs are sitting there saying, oh yeah, we're gonna have paid expansions, unpaid expansions, and then we're going to insert paid classes in there. Oh, it's so good. If you think that's that's not what's happening, obviously. Obviously, it was Krafton saying, you got to do paid expansions. And EHG said, well, we said we'd never do paid expansions. And they said, well, Krafton said, we need our money back. We just bought you for $96 million. Like, I'm not crying for EHG. Big payday, right? Big payday. But the reality is, Krafton needs to recoup their investment, and they probably forced EHG to include some paid element besides cosmetics, because Last Epoch does not look good. It's not a graphically beautiful game. People don't care about the MTX. It wasn't making enough sales, so they had to have a paid expansion or a paid DLC, and they chose classes. Is that bad in a game that's all about classes? That does suck, right? I get Diablo 4 does it, right? Obviously with the Spiritborn, with the Paladin, they're going to do that. It just leaves a bad taste in people's mouth when the game is obviously like unfinished and they made promises in the past that they wouldn't do this, and now they are now in the position where they have to do it or Last Epoch is gone. So all that being said, my way to uplift your Last Epoch spirits, the game isn't sunsetted. The hope is that they will release great products. Paradox classes won't be purely pay to win. They'll continue to iterate on the game and create the game that you have been enjoying all this time with another paid layer on top. And the game is not going to be gone. That's it. That's it. Oh my goodness, the glazing, guys. The glazing. Ahmet, bro, you are the best content creator ever. Like the energy. Genuine, caring, fun. Have you ever thought about being a full-time streamer? Yes. Yes. But as I have said quite a few times, healthcare is very important to me and my growing family. And it costs a lot in the United States. And my real job gives me healthcare. Or I pay for healthcare. Streaming does not give me healthcare. So I'd have to make a ludicrous amount or be willing to take a huge risk doing this. So for now, no. In the future, maybe. We'll have to see. I would really love to. I would really love to one day. You guys are all supporting me, so I really appreciate it. We got a great number of concurrent viewers on like YouTube and Twitch. The videos are pretty consistent. You guys share them with your friends. You like, you comment. If you guys keep doing that, it helps me grow. Seriously. Thank you. That's the best way you can support the channel. So I appreciate it. I really do. Because it would be cool to try this out. I've always wanted to work in games. This is like the closest I guess I can get for now. So, because I can't code worth crap. Seriously. What was I going to say? Oh, I was listening to a podcast today about marketing. Or sorry, it wasn't about marketing. It was about something else. But the dude was talking about how right now, like the vibe, like the tip and all these like marketing things and ad things is, oh, you have to act authentic, right? And I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like people are training people to act authentic instead of just being authentic. Oh, it's like, oh God. Like when you're training someone to be authentic, they're not being authentic, you know what I mean? And I just think it's funny because people will say that I'm inauthentic and I'm fake. I'm not. I'd be a darn good actor. Wouldn't I be a good actor if I was like acting this entire time, guys? Oh, geez. Okay, wow. I didn't look at chat for a while. Am I watching Stranger Things tonight? It's either Stranger Things or Mighty 9 episode 4. And oh my goodness, if you guys haven't watched Mighty 9 yet, guys, Oh my. It's excellent. My wife and I watched episode 3 last night. Oh, I didn't watch campaign 2 for Critical Role. I know some of the beats, but episode 3, oh, I'm so ready. I'm so ready for this show. Frosty LaRue, welcome to the chat. Whoa. Oh, my Apple Watch just told me the time. That was weird. Frosty LaRue, welcome. Have you thought about an OnlyFans then? No way would I ever start an OnlyFans. I think OnlyFans is a plague on our society, and I'm okay with saying that on stream. Sorry if there are OnlyFans users out there. I think it's bad. I think it's very bad for everything out there. For everyone. Everyone who uses it. The creators, the users, it's just bad. This isn't even related to me becoming Christian. No, the church I go to doesn't talk about OnlyFans, okay? They've been talking about Romans for the past, 4 weeks when I've only been going there a month. Zero mention of sexuality and OnlyFans, none of that. This is an opinion I held before, okay? Maybe it's because I'm the dad of 2 girls, but I think that I would still hold the opinion if I wasn't. But, Well, guys. You guys ready to burst with Vinidiction? What got you going to a new church, Talkative? Because, I have a Patreon. Yeah, okay, yeah. I have a Patreon, guys. I have a Patreon where you can support. Yeah, I should have shouted that out. Why did I start going to a new church? Well, I'd been going to my wife's Catholic church on and off for 14 years, and it didn't go well. They never treated me well. I never really cared for it. They never really cared for me. Never really felt anything. And then they, I've told this story so many times. They basically attacked me and smited me during my second daughter's baptism. And I never walked into that church again. That was 1 year ago now, actually. She was baptized 1 year ago today. Never walked back in. And about a month ago, there was a Halloween event at a local church, this church that I'm going to now. And they said, oh, return tomorrow. If you return tomorrow, your kid gets a gift. Here, take this golden ticket. Your kid gets a gift. So we returned the next day thinking, okay, we're just going to give this gift for our kids. And loved it. Loved the service. Loved the way that they analyzed the Bible. Loved how accepting they were, welcoming. Just everything was so enlightening, inspiring. Had a great time. And we've been going ever since, and it has been such a positive for me. I recommend any of you out there start going to something like that and give it a chance. Because I was a religion hater for a while, and I am already, I consider myself a Christian 1 month in, which, I know some of you might be like, oh my God, he's in a cult already. I don't know. The most positive, I've now lived on the internet for a long time. I've, interacted with many different groups of people. The most positive, uplifting, friendly group of people I've ever met. And I think it's just great for my family. So, okay, Vinidiction is probably waiting. He's like, what the heck is Try doing? Try is literally just sitting here talking about religion. We're supposed to be on a podcast together. What the actual heck? Let's get Vinny in here. Let's see. Oh, he actually hasn't messaged me. So maybe he's not even ready. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay. Virtual cam is on. I should put my headphones on. Well, moment, guys. Let's see. Okay. Headphones are on. Now, my wife is on her way home, so I might have to stop the pod partway through. I hope he forgives me for that. Oh, hey, That's Loco, what's going on? You got here right in time for... It's time for me and Vinny to burst about this new PoE 2 update. We're so freaking hyped. Okay. All right. Oh, crap. Vinny's going to hate me. I have to change the text. I'm going to call him Vinny, and he's going to... Vinidiction. I'm pretty sure it's Vinidiction, unless I've been misreading it this whole time, because originally I thought it was Vinidiction. Wait, is it Vinidiction? Shoot! What is his what Vinidiction? Why did I think it was something else? Because it's actually Vinidiction, right? But he's Vinidiction. The actual word is Vinidiction, but his name is Vinidiction. Dudes. No, Schwingy was last week, Vortex. I don't have the squirrel costume yet, Kamikaze. All right, here we go. Let's ping him, see if he's ready to go. Where's my music? There it is. Oh, he's ready. Oh, he's ready. Okay, so he's probably like, what's going on? Talkative Trent. Should I take my shirt off? Should I take my sweater off? I think. Whoa, surprise Path of Exile 2 shirt reveal. Look at that. All right. I need a haircut so bad, guys. Okay. Now we're good. Do. Where is my video call? Where's my video call? There it is. There it is. Pop out. Good to go. Heck yeah. Man, my hair looks stupid. Why does my hair look so stupid? Hey, dude.
Yo, what's up, Try?
Hey.
How's it going? You and the fine gentleman in the chat are having a blessed day.
We are having a blessed day. How fitting. We were just talking. I was ranting about church, so very, very fitting word there. Dude, love your lighting. Holy crap. What's going on in your room, man?
Thank you so much. We've got a little like stand light in the back over here that's got some LED functions, and we've got like a little wall light somewhere over there.
Nice. Nice.
Also, I'll say in advance, I've got my girlfriend right here. I can't really get her out of frame on Discord, so
you're good.
If you, like, see some movement.
That's totally fine, and like she's kind of cut off anyway. So as long as she's okay with potential, like if she turns around and she makes a cameo, I don't know what to say. It's up to her. She can do it if she wants to. Big face reveal. Also, okay, chat can't see her screen. I can see her screen, but chat can't. So I won't be distracted by her screen. I hope she doesn't do anything crazy during the pod.
I can actually zoom it in just a tiny bit.
You can? Okay, and I'll adjust. All right.
Okay.
Oh crap. My wife just got here. 1 sec. Let me see if she needs help carrying in the kids from the car. I'm so sorry. She arrived right at this time. Do you have like a hard cutoff in 1 hour?
No.
Okay. Let me just double check if she needs help. I'm gonna go see if she needs help. I'll be literally right back.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll pull up your chat. Keep them entertained. Let me pull up quit. Yo, what's going up? What's going on, chat? How y'all doing? I heard from my girlfriend. She's been doing some reconnaissance for me that y'all were just talking about. What was it? Church, OnlyFans, stuff like that. What's up, Full Throttle, K86? On a related note of religion, do you think we're getting swords in the next PoE2 patch? Hopefully so. I kind of like that question. How's your day going? My day's going pretty good so far. Took a little nap earlier just so I could be kind of refreshed for the podcast and all that good stuff. Been playing a lot of Arc Raiders recently, but I'm super hyped to get back into PoE2 for 0.4 for sure. What's up, Mr. Shishu? What do you think about screen clearing versus more combat depth? I think that's a pretty good question, actually.
Thanks so much, dude. I'm so sorry. We're both sleeping, so it saves a lot of time if I can like carry one of them out.
Yeah, no problem at all.
All right. It's like 30 degrees here, and it was 38 earlier. So it rained, then it snowed, and everything has just iced over. So I just went outside with my no shoes on, and I almost slipped and fell right with my
Oh
daughter.
yeah. I
Bastard.
cannot do the cold. Oh my goodness.
No, no.
I
See,
couldn't imagine.
it's just because of where I was born. I get all the seasons where I am. So, are you somewhere hot?
Yeah, I've never lived north of Dallas, Texas.
Oh wow. Okay. Okay. Wait.
So like always at the bottom where it's
Got it.
just like blistering hot, humid,
Okay.
and I mean like my perfect temperature is probably like a brisk 78. I'm gonna be honest.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's hot to me. See, especially
Yeah.
with the
I mean,
sun and humidity. Like, I like 65. 65 is my preferred temp outside. Inside, it's a little
yeah, yeah.
chilly, but yeah, my good temp. Okay. Well, thank you for waiting, sir. I really appreciate it. Before we get started, uh, sound check, guys. Does it sound all good? It looks perfect, Vinny. You had it set up great.
Appreciate it.
He's right in the yellow. Is he a little quiet? He sounds good. Okay, move to Hawaii, best weather ever. Yeah, but then a shack in Hawaii is like $500,000 or something. So that's not happening where I live. It's actually affordable for the most part. So okay, all right. I see a Harry Potter poster in your background. Are you a Harry Potter fan, or is that your girlfriend's?
So that oh goodness, it's
Oh
actually a
boy.
funny story. That's actually my sister's Harry Potter poster from a long time ago. And I hadn't watched any of the movies except one until my girlfriend. So like my girlfriend's a huge fan and she basically got me to do like the full marathon over the course of a couple days. And then we actually went and watched the final movie. I She'll remember. It's like this performance where they do it in a big theater and they have a live orchestra
Oh
playing
wow.
music at the same time and like the movie's playing on a big screen and it was phenomenal. Like and after that I became a fan, I guess, but like kind of a fake fan because, I didn't watch the movies till I was like 24 or something.
That's fine. If you find it
But
at some point
I
in
do
life,
love them.
that's good. Man, that sounds epic. That I would love that experience with like Lord of the Rings. Seeing it
Yeah.
in a theater with a live orchestra would just be that'd be heavenly, dude.
Yeah, the music was actually phenomenal. And I like grew up kind of as like half band kid, half sports kid, so I was
Okay.
like super appreciative of the music and everything. It was just amazing.
Okay. Do you are you excited for the upcoming HBO remake of everything, or eh?
Not really. Kind of like I'm like pretty hit or miss on remakes at this point. I just don't get my hopes up. Um, I don't know. I mean, it always seems like they either go really well or they go really bad. I feel
Hmm.
like usually there's not a big middle ground with remakes, so
Yeah.
I kind of like just refrain from getting my hopes up in general.
Yeah. For movies and video games, it seems. So
Yep.
yeah, that's
Yep.
it's a very hit or very miss. We've got the Oblivion, and then we have what is it, Warcraft 3? It's like the polar opposite.
Yeah.
It's like all the way or not at
Yep.
all. So all right. Well, cool. Everybody says your sound is great, dude. So we can go for about an hour. I had that list of topics to talk about, but if there's anything in particular you wanted to speak on, feel free to bring it up. We might meander. I try to keep it pretty like in order if I can, but if something pops up and it feels natural, we might just skip on right to it. Okay.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll just quickly say this
Yeah.
is my first like podcast or whatever, so I'm a little nervous. Apologies if I stumble over my words or whatever, but I think we're
Bro,
gonna have a great discussion.
bro, not a problem at all. Also, I just noticed that I have the green, and I am anal about that. I hate showing the green Discord stuff for people. The first time I chatted with Jonathan, I had the green and I hated myself for it. And I said, never again, Vinny, never again. So, yeah, but don't worry about it, dude. Yeah, you're good to go. Like, one, you sounded great so far. So, yay, nice. And two, if you stumble over your words, man, don't worry about it. I guess just briefly before we hop into it, I was the exact same way. The first time that I really did a real podcast, it was when I interviewed Jonathan, right? I don't know if you were playing Pee 2 back or God, Pee 2 wasn't out. It was like a year before Pee 2 came out. Dude, I would ask Jonathan a question, he'd start to answer, and I'm streaming this live, okay? And I'm in my mic as Jonathan's answering, going, yeah, yeah, right. Awesome. That's cool. The whole time, and I didn't even register it, and I turned off Twitch chat, and my mods were frantically messaging me, and I'm like, oh my, I had no idea the entire time. So it completely ruined the podcast. So you can never do worse than I did, man. It was bad.
Gotcha.
So
No, that's funny. It's a cool little origin story.
yeah, it was a good learning lesson. Okay. So I will just do a little lead in for the YouTube VOD, and we'll get into it, man. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey, Exiles, welcome to yet another episode of the Still Sane Pod. I am your host, Talkative Try, and today I have with me the master of chefs, Vinidiction. Vinny, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing amazing. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I appreciate the opportunity. It's honestly, the honor is all mine. I hope you and all the fine gentlemen in the chat are having a blessed day. And yeah, I'm excited for the discussion. I think it's going to be great.
Awesome. So am I, dude. So I was first made aware of your channel actually last league in 0.3, but since then I've watched quite a few of your videos. It looks like you kicked off you blew up, I'd say, content creation with Path of Exile too. It looks like you were doing a few other games before then. But when that first league came out, you did a few monk videos, some build guide videos, some currency strats, and they went to the moon, which is so awesome. So I'm curious about your Path of Exile to 1 origin stories and your thoughts on the progression of the game from 0.1 to 0.3. Because for everybody else, after we talk about this, we are talking all things 0.4. We're going to get lots of predictions, what we think Grind Gear Games is going to do, but I wanted to start talking about Vinidiction's starts in the game. So, Vinidiction, take it away, man.
Yeah, sure thing. So like excluding the content creation side of it for a second, just kind of my experience with the game in general has been phenomenal, if I have to say. Kind of like you said, I was making content for a lot of other games prior to this, and I've generally just played a lot of PC games growing up. So like coming into the game, playing 0.1, and I've played a little bit of PoE 1 before, like about 1,000 hours, but I wasn't playing it right before PoE 2. I'm still a beginner, I know. 1,000 hours, what is that? Um, I had like a slight understanding of the game, but anyways, so getting back into it, and I wasn't playing Pee Wee 1 directly beforehand. I was playing a bunch of other stuff. It was just like a breath of fresh air to like experience a game where it was so patently clear to me that the developers were extremely competent. Like everything I looked at felt like they had a vision of how to improve the quality of life of the player. And I think it actually gives me like a slightly unique perspective, not being a huge PoE 1 veteran, coming in and kind of seeing that, because it's like it really like I think it would be easy to take for granted if you've been playing a lot of PoE 1, but you come from a game like, no offense, I'm not trying to throw shade, but like Dark and Darker or Dungeonborn, which is like what I'd been playing for a couple years beforehand, and I mean it's just like night and day difference. So starting off, it was absolutely amazing. Zero point 0.2 was great as well. It kind of felt like a stepping stone patch for me, kind of like a fundamental stepping stone. It wasn't a ton of content, but the wisps were cool. The Amazon was amazing, or the Huntress was amazing. I definitely really enjoyed the Huntress. Had a lot of big videos around that. Wisps were cool, kind of like a letdown in like the functionality, but conceptually I like them, and I think they have a lot of potential to be improved. And then moving on to 0.3, I mean, what can you really say? Like, I mean, this patch was just amazing, obviously. Like, starting from day one, I could already tell it was going to be a banger. Um, not to say that everyone had the same opinion, as I'm sure we'll get into later, but I thought it was just absolutely great. Like, the abyssal mechanic, I'll start with the abyssal crafting. Obviously, the
Right.
abyssal crafting was crazy. Like, the difference between 0.2 and 0.3 in terms of crafting was, I couldn't have imagined such a big difference. Sprinting, very welcome change, although slightly clunky at the beginning, but definitely welcome as you get used to it. Act 4 was phenomenal. the interludes were even pretty sick considering their placeholders, if you
Agree.
ask me. Um, and yeah, the abyssal gameplay mechanic itself, I I'm kind of like hit or miss on that one. I like it, but it does also set like an interesting precedent for the game because it introduced such a massive amount of monsters on your screen at certain times that it's kind of pushing the game more towards screen clear as opposed to like slow methodical combat, which I'm not really like. I I don't really have much of an opinion. I'd be fine either way. I think. Like I think GGG will
Mm,
make it work one way or the other. But I thought it was just kind of interesting. To me, it felt like that was an indicator of the direction we're heading in.
definitely. Yeah, I saw it as kind of a bellwether too because zero point 0.2, I thought, okay, maybe we're going to go on a little bit of more meaningful combat. But with 0.3, they went in the total opposite direction, just really embracing that feel of, honestly, Diablo 4, Last Epoch, Path of Exile, the classic ARPG feel of you are clearing screens of monsters, and that's the goal of the game, right? So it was really
Yeah.
interesting. I wonder if they're going to continue that with 0.4. I reckon they will, even though the I don't know, the optimist or the idealist within me wants to see something different, something that's not so similar to the typical ARPG experience. But also, have you played No Rest for the Wicked, that other ARPG?
I have not. I've seen
It
a little bit of gameplay, but I haven't played it.
it's like the other end of the spectrum. Like I played that for about 2 hours. I know, not a lot of time, but the max number of enemies I saw on my screen was like 6 at a time. So it's kind of it's actually a Souls-like game, right? I wanted to see
Mhm.
something more in the middle ground, maybe leaning more toward the horde clearing, but just more readable because as we probably both know, as we played the end game of PoE2, at a certain point with Abyss, oh my gosh, you can't really see anything on your screen, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, I
You're blowing
mean,
up stuff, they're
I could
blowing you up, you know?
yeah, with the right build, you could just turn your monitor off and figure it out basically,
Exactly.
like, it'd be almost no different.
Yeah.
Um, I wanted to quickly point out too, like, I kind of agree with what you're saying because I think a lot of people might agree that when especially if they were, like, new to PoE2 back in 0.1, the very first time you fought Count Geonor at the end of Act 1, at least for me, it was literal cinema. Like, it just blew me away, and I was like, "Wow, like, this really is kind of like a Souls-like game, but an ARPG." Like, if I don't dodge this mechanic, I'm one shot. If I do dodge the mechanic, I'm rewarded. It's like a 1.5 minute, 2-minute long fight, multiple phases. He turns into this giant freakish wolf monster, like, it was just, like, so unbelievably sick, and I do feel like we've lost a little bit of that as the game has gone on. We've already introduced some power creep into the game,
Hmm.
um, but it's
I
also, like, I don't know if it can be avoided because
Right.
players will just get better.
Yeah, I agree with you in some facets, right? So that was cinema. That was probably my favorite moment of all of 0.1. And maybe even 0.2. I've really enjoyed 0.3, but of all those patches, fighting Geonor was just beautiful. You know, bashing my head against the wall, slowly learning, right, adjusting my build, going back, and I think I had to get a cold resistance charm, and I was trying to edit my gear around, and just feeling that progress. It was great. I would argue though, while the bosses in the campaign I think have been nerfed substantially since 0.1, I think that's a little bit of a shame. They have been buffed in the end game. They're a lot tankier. I think you are going to get those actual boss fights again in the end game, especially when you're initially progressing. Many people haven't experienced that because that mid-league patch came out that buffed the bosses, and a lot of people were done with the game or already had busted builds. So I think that'll appear there. I would argue that the even cooler part is in the campaign and happened in 0.1, and to an even greater degree, I would argue too much, in 0.2, wherein, yes, the GNR fight was cool, but you also had that almost like dungeon delving, pushing through feel in the map before GNR, the whole manor, right? Where you're fighting
Mhm.
those individual packs in the hallway and you're dodging in and out of puddles, and you had to pay attention to those monsters that would lash their tongues out at you and stun you. That whole experience is also just great. And I feel like that's the one that really it disappears from the game. In the campaign, it exists, it starts to dissipate in the interludes, and then the end game, it's gone. All the pack monsters on the map are fodder for the most part, and the only thing that matters is the map boss at that point. I that's what PoE 1 really is, and that's what a lot of other RPGs are. That's the part that I think GGG may have just decided to not try to change, and I think that is a shame. Because it's like, what could have been, you know?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Actually, like a little bit of the notes I wrote down for a topic later on is exactly to this idea. So I completely agree. I mean, that's like the first moment where if you've been blasting through the campaign and you haven't upgraded your flask, you go in the manor and it's like, wait a minute, like I gotta go back and get my flask real quick. Like this is about to be a disaster if I don't. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, it makes you kind of like stop. And it's not just a massive difficulty spike at the boss, like you said. It is that lead up to the
Mhm.
boss, and it's like it builds very well, I think. So I completely agree.
And
And definitely, just like you said, I mean, it's a little bit different depending on your build and what time you started the character in the league. But at a certain point, even for like your first character, if you've been playing the game a lot and you're like a little bit of a sweat, around the time you hit like end of Act 2, beginning of Act 3, you're just demolishing everything. Like
Mhm.
you're like one tapping every pack, you're one tapping bosses if you have like a somewhat optimized build or like a meta build, so to speak. Um, and so yeah, there's definitely like an issue with the player progression power curve, which like I said, I've got a whole spiel for that later on.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I went back to PoE 1 this league and I really enjoyed it. But it opened my eyes to one, how different the two games are, but how PoE 2 it vividly has shifted a lot into the PoE 1 direction because of exactly what you just described there. You know, in PoE 1, a campaign, but there's total jokes. If you know anything about what you're doing, they just melt, right? You stand there, you hit, and they die. And at a certain point in PoE2's campaign, the same thing starts to happen. And it'll be interesting to see how the balance shifts because I think a lot of people do want that on the campaign. I'm in the other camp of I like building up my character, feeling that progression, feeling pushback from the monsters, and then eventually getting to that godliness once my character is all the way finished with progression. So we'll see if that
Exactly.
happens. Um, yeah, it'll be really interesting to see in a little bit. So you can't. And one of the other things that people bring up quite a bit, you're a softcore player, right? Like trade.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Softcore trade.
one thing a lot of people says, well, if you want that feeling, play hardcore, right? Because you gotta always pay
Yeah.
attention. You gotta be careful. It's just the time investment. It's kind of rough, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And I also just think like I don't know. I mean, I just like it kind of almost has to do with the player power curve again. Like with hardcore, like there's just it's not quite fine tuned enough yet for me. I mean, maybe if it was a little bit more fine tuned, I'd be interested in
Mm-hmm.
it. I still don't know if I would because I just enjoy softcore trade. Like I like having this big market and being able to play around that, and also just kind of having like I play tons of competitive games already. Like when I play PoE 2, I'm trying to kind of like relax, blast some monsters, and just have a good time.
Get
I
that.
don't want to be like hyper locked in at every moment. And especially thinking about if I do die, how much of a setback it might be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, there's just the game is a little bit rippy at times. Like you get to certain spots and it's like 2 minutes ago you were obliterating everything, and then 2 minutes later you get literally evaporated out of existence, and like you didn't even see what did it, and you don't have a death recap. So when you get back there next time, you don't even know what to do. Like you just died to air. So it's like, well, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, it's obviously not always the case, but sometimes it is the case.
It is. It is. I think you're touching on something that's very important. It's balancing out that power progression. I think that people do play ARPGs to get that feeling of smashing through monsters. I feel like right now it just hypes up a little too fast right now, especially around the end game. We'll see if that changes. Seems like we both have faith in grind gear games. You mentioned something that I want to circle back on, and then we'll get to 0 Point for the last of the Druids. Right at the start, you said, "Oh, you've played all these different games." You said Dungeonborn and one Dark and Darker, and then you came to PoE 2, and it was night and day between the developers, bro.
Yes.
Exactly the same thing with me with Path of Exile 1. I played a lot of Dota 2, which is developed by Valve, notoriously silent on updates and crap. And then I played Dungeons and Dragons Online, whose developers like abandoned the game, and Guild Wars 2, whose developers like flip flop between what system they're developing when, and oh, we're going to be hyperactive with the community. Oh, we're going to pull back. Oh, this thing is going to be delayed. Oh, this thing is going to be cut, right? And then you go to grinding your games, and it's just, for the most part, okay, there have been blips. Consistency with communication, with update cadence. I know PoE players are going to crash out right now. They're back in the cycle now, but for a long time, it was consistent communication, consistent updates, and that is really refreshing if you come from other games. So I thought that was a great point that you brought up. I just wanted to re-illuminate it right there. Okay, 0.4, Vinidiction. Wow, we are 8 days out from the reveal now. I am about to burst. I accidentally wrote, I'm hard in the thumbnail. I don't even know what I'm doing now. I'm just blinded with the Druid hype, okay, dude? So, first of all, I want to get a few predictions from you about this because you've been so quiet on your channel. You played a little bit of Arc Raiders and you haven't said anything lately. So, I want to know, we know the update's called Last of the Druids. Druid is confirmed. So, aside from the Druid, what is your biggest or most hype prediction about this update to Path of Exile 2?
Okay, so I've got two actually. So
Okay.
the first one is that it's gonna be the third ascendancy for the remaining base classes. Kind of my thought process there is the last time they released ascendancies, it was three of them, if I recall. It was the Lich, the Smith of Katava, and the Tactician for the Mercenary. And so it was three separate ascendancies. We now have three remaining base classes that have yet to get their third ascendancy. And at that same time, it was also one new class. So it's like, in my mind, it's like we're getting one new class. Should we maybe get three new ascendancies as well? And it would kind of make sense as far as I'm concerned. So that's like kind of my big hype one. I'm hoping it happens. It's maybe out of the scope because I know they're trying to like revamp the end game as well, but you never know. And then one other one is just a complete Atlas tree overhaul.
Hmm.
Like I think a lot of people are aware of this. A lot of people have talked about it, obviously, but you get your first 20 points and they are impactful, but not tangible, which is a problem in of in
Okay.
itself. Like they make a difference, but you don't feel it. And then beyond that, after the first 20 points, it's kind of like whatever. Like, you want to rush your first 20 points and then you could probably just play the rest of the league with those 20 points and like you'd be okay. Like you'd be fine. But I would be much more inclined or much more happy with something where it's like, "Oh, when I get my 10th point, that means all of a sudden I have a breach in every single map or something
Right.
like that." Like something like, big at these intervals that are very kind of focused towards a certain thing, not just like this generalized, I've got 8 points and they all give me 3% increased quantity or 3% map mods. Like, I don't, it makes a difference, but I don't feel it. Like, it just,
It's not noticeable unless you're tracking your drops in a spreadsheet, right? For the average
exactly.
player who makes it to end game, they don't feel any of that, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
bang on. Do you think that keeping the Atlas trees separated is smart, or do you think they should unify all of them and by that like put breach into the main tree and just let you path throughout it? What are your thoughts on that? Because remember, guys, he's mostly played PoE 2. He's 0 hours in PoE 1 to most people. 1,000, 0, 1,000, same
Yeah.
thing, kind of, right?
Basically zero. Basically zero. Um, it's a good question. I personally think maybe a little bit of both, but I don't
Hmm.
really think you can like get away without putting them in the center tree a little bit because if you don't put them in the center tree a little bit, then I feel like it's going to be really hard to make the center tree, like the general tree, be noticeable or feel impactful because I mean, what do you really have to give, outside of like these alternative content options like Breach, Delirium, Ritual, all these things. Like, if I can't push into those or optimize towards those within the general tree, then what other options do they have? I mean, I'm sure some people have some ideas, and I'd be, interested to hear them or see them. So if it's possible, I will say, I think, and this is like maybe a whole nother topic, but item rarity should either go in the Atlas tree
Mm,
or it should be baselined into the end game. If they don't want to get rid of it entirely, which I'm fine with them not getting rid of it entirely, if anything, I think they shouldn't. I know a lot of people do, but they need to take it off gear and they need to baseline it. Like, so that way builds are not chokeholded by how much rarity you can fit onto your character. Because right now it's disgusting. I mean,
Mm.
it's like the first question you have to ask yourself is, can I get 150% plus rarity or not? And if not, especially as a content creator, it's like, okay, I'm not making that build because I'm going to get blasted in the comments. But then secondly, it's like I don't even want to play that build because I'm not trying to get a tink every 7 maps. Like I want to get multiple tinks a map.
Right.
And
Right.
the difference is just astronomical between 0 and 150. Even I've played a character, I played a ritualist. My last character was a twister rarity ritualist who had like 340 rarity, and it was it was like nuclear. Like I went from 40% rarity on my previous character because it was a super weird funky build that just couldn't fit the rarity to that, and it was like I was like laughing while playing the game. It was like so different.
See, I'm chuckling because said as a content creator, it would be just, idiotic. Do something without oh, then I didn't play with any rarity this league, and now I'm thinking, oh, when I put out my eventual druid build, I'll need to fit rarity into it somehow. I don't even play with rarity. I know that it's so impactful, and it's like one of the biggest points of discussion in every like one of the videos I see from you or Dead Rabbit. They're all like blasted with max rarity ritualist build, right? Because that's what people really care about. So because they want the tinks, they want to compete in the market. So I do think the best solution is removing it from gear or like isolating it to one gear slot, or wild idea, just making it like the harder the content, the higher the rarity. The more juice you juice the map with rarity, right? I think
Yeah,
that's,
yeah.
right? Come on, GGG. It doesn't need to be on your gear, does it? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
There needs to be a way to baseline it. You could even put it like they've got that little quest line with the corrupted nexuses or whatever.
yeah.
Like each corrupted nexus that gives you 5 points for your Atlas tree also gives you 20% rarity or something like that. And then you keep that on your future characters. Just like things like that, like something baseline that's across the board, hits everyone. So everyone gets a little bit of like a feel good, like it amps up a little bit as they're progressing. They're getting more tinks, but
Right.
it's not going to chokehold builds.
Now, mention the corrupted nexuses, and when you were talking about, oh, what can they do with the base tree if they're not putting breach or ritual on the base tree? So I have a wild idea that I've been cooking in the back of my head, dude. Okay. So I think that the base tree, since they're going with this like civilization style atlas map that you're exploring and it's different biomes, why not make the base tree your terraform tree? You, alongside Doriani, are terraforming the atlas. So you're actually changing the nodes on the atlas with your base tree. So some examples, say they just keep the same endgame system as they have now. The nodes on the tree no longer say like, oh, 5% increased rarity or quantity, blah, 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 whatever. Instead, there are nodes that are, giving a chance for like upcoming nodes that you unfog to be a cleansed map by default, right? So you're like incentivized to continue exploring the fog, and oh my gosh, it has that new map that I'm going to unfog. Oh, it has a 10% chance to be a cleansed map. Or like corrupted nexuses have a 20% greater chance to spawn, or citadels appear closer together. Like all these different things would be so darn I think they have potential there if they want to lean into the idea instead of going with this bare bone dog poop I don't even care about the Atlas tree stuff. I think they should just go all out and really be experimental. Maybe there's technical. I'm probably making it sound way easier than it is technically, but it sounds cool, dude. And I think that would be one avenue they can go, because you're right. How can you spice up the base tree if all you have to play with are pack size and quantity and stuff like that? So
Yeah, no, I could actually see that. That does seem kind of interesting. Like maybe, something that removes certain biomes and replaces them with other ones,
right.
or um I think I heard you mention it at some point, like wandering bosses like roaming
Yes.
around the atlas that you could like interact with or something. I could actually see an avenue where they go that route.
Yes.
However, I will say if they go that route, I would be super surprised if it hits 0 0.4, because like they would have to kind of like come up with all of those different types of content at once to revamp the Atlas tree around it. But I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go a route in that direction over time,
Yeah.
and kind of like flesh it out, build it out.
It is a big ask. I'm just trying to think if they really want to go with something different from PoE 1, how can they make this exciting? Because one of the big problems I have with the Atlas right now is it just feels aimless to me. I just feel like I'm wandering and I don't have any real clear goals. Sure, they added the cool, unique maps and they have the citadels, but it just still feels like a whole bunch of disconnected nodes. So I'd agree with
Yeah.
you, though. I think the Atlas revamp it is pretty likely, and it would have a big impact on the way people engage with the end game. Hopefully, if
Yeah.
GGG cook. So
And you're on the money. It is aimless right now. Even with the citadels, even with the corrupted nexuses, after you get your points at the very least, it is aimless unless you set yourself up with a specific farming goal. Like if you want to do negative rarity,
mm,
you're hunting for corrupted nexuses. So that way you can then hunt for the +1 maps so you can get base types. If you're doing citadel farming, you're hunting for the citadels. But if you're not doing like these niche strategies, it
mm,
is aimless. Like you
right.
are literally just running around and you're like happy when you run into a corrupted nexus because you get cleansed maps afterwards and
Mm-hmm.
those drop like loot. The monsters are running around with coins in their pockets or whatever, so it's like that's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
outside of that, yeah, it's pretty aimless. So, and I think the exploratory aspect of it was kind of like a selling point for me, and I do agree that expanding upon that would be a good idea.
Yeah. Now you also mentioned your first prediction, new ascendancy classes. I I do hope that this is true as well. Your pitch made a lot of sense. 0.2 came with 3, 4 ascendancies, came with a new class. Maybe this patch will come with it too. So the people who aren't playing Druid have some new toys for the Huntress and the Sorceress, right? I think that's pretty likely. Which class would you be most excited to see another ascendancy for? Are there any in particular that might be missing sort of like vibe or niche playstyle type?
Yeah, so I think this is super unlikely to happen if I'm being honest, but and it's actually something I kind of wrote down for later as well, so I'll probably revisit it a little bit, but I would absolutely love to see a Spellblade archetype for the sorcerer. Like I
Oh,
think something where you're using like a sword and a focus or whatever at the same time, or you could, spice it up. Maybe you've got like a two-handed sword or whatever, and you've got some way to like kind of like how they have with the I can't think of the skill for monks right now. I play it all the time, but the
hollow
one
palm
that
technique,
no, the one that like infuses your quarterstaff or your hands with
charge
the
staff.
lightning and you
Yeah, charge
yeah,
staff.
charge
Yep.
staff. Like a whole bunch of stuff like that where you're like buffing up your weapon and then you're going in, you're doing like some melee attacks, but they have like big spell animations attached to them. Like seeing how the visuals look so far in PoE 2, I could imagine that a Spellblade class or Ascendancy would just go hard. Like it'd just be so sick.
I
Um,
I would love to see that for the sorceress in particular because she kind of represents elemental damage types, right? Not lightning, fire, cold. I think that will definitely be addressed when the Templars dropped in, but they're like the more holy warrior, right? At least that seems to be how GGG is pitching them for PoE 2. In PoE 1, there's something really similar to what you're saying. It's the Inquisitor, and they kind of they try to tie spells to like melee and everything. That doesn't exist in PoE 2 right now. I would freaking love that. That'd be great as a melee enjoyer, okay? That'd be really cool. So I like it. Like the idea. Do you besides the Acolyte of Traiula, do you think any ascendancies are lacking right now? Do you have like any that stands out to you as, oh, this could use a little bit of a revamp, a little bit of spicing up? Because that's one of the, I think, pain points I've had in the past where the nodes just don't feel super impactful on some ascendancies. Like Blood Mage, wow, very powerful.
yeah.
I think that like I would be remiss to not talk about the Tactician, the pinning node. Like that's very powerful as well. I took the wrong node when I played Tactician. I didn't feel that power boost. But the Lich, very powerful. But others I feel like aren't like as strong. Any stand out to you?
Yeah, it's actually a good question. I haven't thought about too much. I'll also just be honest and say that I've got like 8 to 9 characters above level 90, but not a single one of them are warrior or mercenary. I've not
Wow.
even created a warrior or mercenary, like not once.
Okay, well,
Um,
let's dig into that. Why? Why do you hate maces, bro? Come on.
honestly, like, I don't hate maces.
Okay.
Well, I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I
Right.
mean,
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I'm not trying to like sound, macist or whatever, but I guess like it just doesn't fit me. Like the archetype has just never been my go-to. Like I've always been like somebody who likes to play squishier classes or whatever, I guess, like squishier, flashier classes. Um Faster classes too, like more agile, no offense, but the warrior generally speaking is kind of slow.
I
And
get
then
it.
the mercenary just I wasn't a huge fan of like the whole reload thing. I know I've heard that it's gotten improved upon quite a bit since the release of the game, but I've also just like I've had so much enjoyment with the other classes like
Monk
that
man.
I've never really had I've never really
Ah,
had the opportunity where I thought, I really want to make a warrior right now. It's like, no, I'd
get it.
rather just make a new monk build or I'd rather make a new sorcerer build. Yeah, like I played a monk build in zero point 0.1 Ice Strike, which was, obviously very popular back then, still is. But then zero point 0.3, I made another monk and I played Flicker Strike, and it's like a completely different playstyle. It's not even remotely close. So it's like I've got like two different classes within the
Right.
same class. And there's like a lot more of that that I haven't played yet as well. So, it'll probably be a while. I think there's an ascendancy in PoE 1 for one of the classes, but it's the one that's like very bleed focused. Like a lot of people will play like a whirlwind
Gladiator.
bleed build. Yeah,
Yeah.
gladiator. Like when that comes out and you're like able to dual wield and use like whirlwind or lacerate. I know they have lacerate in PoE 1, which I played that. Something like that would be more up my alley for like a warrior. But right now it's like very uka chuka, like mace, big
Right.
slam.
Right. No,
And
I get
I'm
it.
like, I'm okay.
You can be macist on this podcast. It's totally fine. I get it. I've also just not. I've created warriors, but I can't get them past the campaign. I just can't do it. It just does
Yeah.
feel too clunky. I know you can get the speed up, get the tank up, but monks, man, they feel good. They feel so good to
Yeah.
play. So and that's what I
Yep,
want.
they
I
do.
want chunky, impactful, fast gameplay with my monk. Very responsive. What I found there. So yeah, totally agree on that point. Now, big prediction. Those are two pretty big predictions. Okay. Ascendancies, Atlas Tree revamp. I think they're likely. What's something unexpected that you're thinking might come in the last of the Druids?
So, uh, once again, I've got a couple, but these will be pretty quick. I don't
Yeah.
want to make these too long. So easy one. Like the easy one for me is a target dummy. I've been on the target dummy hype train
Oh,
for a long time. I think the game needs like I don't even think it's like really up for discussion. I think it needs it. And at least from my perspective, like players should not like it's one thing if you don't want to look at your DPS. Like if you just want to enjoy the game and have a good time, that's completely fine. But on the flip side, the people who do want to like get into the nitty-gritty, being forced into a third-party program to have any semblance of like the actual calculations that are going on or how much damage you're doing, I think is just doesn't make sense. Like it's not normal, I guess, if you ask me, to be forced into a third party program like Path of Building, although Path of Building's great and I'm sure it'll never go away. But for your player that's like in the middle, where they want to like, does this support gem make me do more damage? Yes or no? But they don't want to download Path of Building and go watch a 30-minute guide on how to use Path of Building. Having a target dummy in your hideout, hit it with a 1-minute test, and like, you have an idea at least. Um,
that's so
Outside of
interesting,
that,
man.
or go ahead.
Sorry, I just want to go in on that. My immediate reaction was, "Bleh." Okay, but as you were talking, as you were making the case, right, as someone who really does not use external tools, there is that player out there that really wants to get the information you're talking about, but they're like me. They refuse to download PoE2. Path of Building, right? Whether it's PoE1 or PoE2. I hate the idea of a target dummy, but what if there was like a gladiator arena area you could go to and you could spawn in like a pack of mobs or one big mob? I think that'd be kind of cool. So, I don't think GGG will ever do it. Okay, well, maybe Chris Wilson's gone now. Maybe they will do it. But I can see the argument from your perspective and from the people who feel like they are forced into third-party tools. I'm big anti-third-party tool. I think it takes away from the enjoyment of the game. The more monitors you need to play the game, the worse. Fight me, guys.
100%.
But
No, I 100% agree, especially with the game on console now. Like I get so many comments from people on
oh,
console saying like, "What am I supposed to do?" And it's like, I don't know. Like,
yeah.
good luck.
I see the
You know,
merit.
and I feel bad.
I see the merit. You
Yeah.
know, I wouldn't use it because I'm one of those people, one of the cavemen who's like, I like feel in game, right? It's like with the ascendancy nodes. I like to feel when I take those 2 points, like the impact of upgrading a new weapon, of getting 5 more passive points, all that. I love that. I feel like feeling it when I'm playing the game naturally. But there's that like intersection of players who are like, oh, I'm so frustrated that I can't test this stuff out. I'd love to test it out. So I I'd throw my hat into the ring for it. Okay, what was your second idea? Sorry, go for it.
Second idea would be visual clarity changes, in particular opacity, I never know how to pronounce that. Sliders of sorts. So some way that you can like turn down the visual effect of your skills, as well as maybe certain map effects, like Delirious, for example. Like if I could just tone that down a little bit, like something in between a regular map and a Delirious map. Um, and especially in certain boss arenas, like once again when I was playing Twister Ritualist, like at a certain point I'm like pumping out like 60 twisters at once and I like literally can't see the screen. Like the whole boss arena is filled up with twisters. It's like if I die, I die. If there's a big one-shot mechanic here, like it's my time to go. You know,
Yeah,
like it is what it is. Um, but yeah, if I could have some way to just crank that down a little bit, and I really like the idea of the sliders because it keeps the agency in the player or
mhm.
with the player, which I think is pretty important. Like I think especially for something like this, some people want all of it to be there, some people want none of it to be there. And there's no way GGG is going to be able to like do the perfect across the board change for everybody. So just give us some sliders. Everybody can tweak it however they like.
I had a funny scenario. You're playing your Twister build, and you're at a boss arena, and you're clogging up everything. And for someone who doesn't know about this option, maybe there's like a little clippy, a little Ray class clippy that pops up and says, "You have the option to turn down your opacity in this menu little thing, right?" Because it
Yeah.
is I okay. I get frustrated with the visual clarity, and I've never played a build that insane. I didn't see your particular build, but I saw Snoobit85. He had a Twister build as well, and he ran like an infamous map where I hated it. I hated every second of it. Some people love every second of it. They're like, this is why I play ARPGs. I was like, I hate this so much. And it's something that GGG, like they addressed long before PoE2 came out, and it feels like they've let it slip because one of the goals, right, was to help with visual, like to make the game visually clear again. Because PoE1 lost the plot a little bit, and you said what 60 twisters or something per second, right? They've used
Not per second, but like in
on the
one cast.
screen,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
oh my god, one cast, that's
And
crazy.
and
Oh,
by the time before they go away, I'm sending out another 60. So like it's never ending. Like it's
geez,
just
that's
there.
crazy. See, so they like talked about okay, PoE2, you might not shoot out 60 twisters like in PoE1. You'll shoot out 10, but they'll have the power of 60. It's like I think that's I don't know. And it's not I see someone in chat saying, "Oh, it's jealousy." It's not jealousy. It's like you guys can have fun. You can have fun, but I feel like just like keeping the visual consistency of the game is kind of important. And if we're able to scale it like that, I mean, people are going to do it. That's what people are going to push for, I suppose. So I
Yeah,
just wish
that's
the
true.
top level was a little more clear. Yes, that's all.
Yeah, and if you ask me, like it'd be no, it wouldn't hurt me either way. Like if it was, well, I shouldn't say. I should say like it wouldn't bother me if it was less than 60 twisters. Like if it was 10 twisters, but it was the power of 60, like they kind of originally stated,
Hmm.
I'd be more than fine. I mean, the only potential drawback there is if we go towards screen clearing, then like I'd like to keep my 60 twisters all of a sudden, but
Mm-hmm.
so it is kind of a tough middle ground. But currently, like when I'm in the Zest arena and I don't like the hands are literally like coming and peeking through the top of my twisters before they smash me. Like I don't even see the ground effect and them like coming up. It's just like, okay, something might need to change a little bit here.
Right. Yeah. And that's not even like that's just one of many skills that can just visually clog up the screen. I heard somebody was playing like a one of the was maybe it was Sunder build with like their friends, and they had to stop playing with their friends because nobody could ever see the screen. It was just crazy, because it's just completely clogged. So I don't know. That is a wish that I hope that we get. It would be unexpected though that they implement something like this, even though I think it's sorely needed from the game. The biggest request from everyone, and I know some people don't have any problems, is performance fixes, like whether it's FPS or crashes. I think they're aware and are fixing the crashes as they come. They're obviously doing a lot of testing, right? But FPS is the other big thing. And I think this sheer number of effects on screen really seems to screw that up sometimes. So maybe, if they try to make the game more visually clear, it'll also have that side effect of helping with frames.
I agree, and like you said, I think they're working for it as we speak. I mean,
You're a
pretty much
robot
every
right now.
patch.
I'm going to cut you, Vinny. You're a robot. Let's wait for a second. I think my internet or your internet is going out. My internet? No, it's your internet. Let's just wait for a second. You turned into a robot. Maybe you're back? Are you back?
I do have 5,000 ping in the Discord.
Oh, yeah, you're good. We'll just wait a second. You're turning into a robot. I can cut it out in post. It's okay. Let me do like a yell. Oh, okay, I should notice that in the editing software. So, hey DM, what's going on, bro? I didn't know you streamed this late. Freaking DM. Wait, did we just get raided?
I think we might be back.
Are we back? Are we back? Did we just get raided? No, we didn't get raided. Why is everybody acting like DM raided us? Hi, DM. Didn't know you streamed this late, bro. We could have had our Druid talk. I started streaming at 7:15. Okay. I think we're back, Vinny?
Yeah,
Yay?
I think so.
Oh,
I was
we're
at
good.
5,000 ping for a second, but
Oh,
it
you're good,
seemed to
dude.
have calmed down.
No, you're totally good. All set. We were talking about what were we talking about? Oh, yes. Performance fixes as a result of improving visual clarity. That's what we were on. I don't know if you had a response to it. You sounded like a robot.
I was basically just saying, I think you were right in regards to they're already aware. Every patch, if you go down to the bug fixes, they have like a couple of changes that are specifically targeted for this crash, that crash, the other crash. So, as in regards to how quick they're getting it taken care of, that's another thing. Especially some people who have like things that literally prevent them from playing the game. I remember in 0.1, I had that as well. My game was constantly crashing, so it was like really bad. But since then, I haven't had any issues like that. In 0.3, performance issues with Abyss at the beginning, but it did actually clear up quite a bit towards the middle of the league for me.
Really? What? See, this is
Yeah.
crazy, man, because 0-1, 0-2, perfectly fine. 0-3, I crashed multiple times a stream. Every place, the grinding gear games thing. I tried Vulcan. I tried like clearing my cache. Everything. I kept crashing over and over. Never had an issue before then. And my dad and brother, I think they were all Gucci too, and they had problems in 0-1, 0-2. That's so weird. It's just like the particular hardware configuration I have screwed me over. And it happened in PoE 1 as well, which was kind of odd. So I'm really hoping it's fixed for 0-4 because I think that's going to be such a huge launch. There's so much hype focused behind the Druid. Vinny, do you have any particular hype for the Druid, or is it just me that's ready to burst here?
Oh, no. You have no idea. Like, I've people who have watched a lot of my content at least, like, know I've been a huge proponent of the Druid. Like, when it didn't come out in 0.3, I was so heartbroken, actually. Druid was like my favorite and main class in World of Warcraft, and I played way too much World of Warcraft in my life. But generally speaking, yeah, I'm so unbelievably hyped for Druid, especially seeing what GGG has done in PoE 2 so far. It makes me really excited to see how they implement the forms combined with the human form, and like potentially how you're going to be switching back and forth between them, and then also how the forms are going to look. And I'm sure they're going to have some insane cosmetics for the forms.
Oh,
like,
yes,
you're going to be
baby.
able to have some crazy cool looking stuff. So I'm just so unbelievably hyped. Like, I want to know what the ascendancies are so bad, and I can't wait.
Get
So
your
yeah, I'm
wallets.
so hyped.
We're going
Yep,
to have
get your
a
wallets
Panda
out.
Bear MTX. I guarantee it. Maybe a Koala Bear MTX for their Australian brethren. It's going to happen. Okay. You're totally right, man. Get your wallets ready. Now, are you Team Wolf or Team Bear? If you had to choose one.
Definitely Team Wolf. I'm
What
I'm
the?
like holding out for the third form if I'm being honest, to be perfectly honest, because if I had to, or yeah, like I would prefer a cat over a wolf, like a
Okay.
panther or something.
I
And I
saw your
think that
black
would
cat.
take
That tracks.
yeah, I've got a couple black cats, but
Oh, nice.
also just like the cat form in WoW was just like one of my favorite things ever growing up. Like especially in for people who played WoW, they'll know. But in Legion, when the Star Gummy cat transmog became a thing, it was this. It looks so crazy sick, and yeah, if you know, you know, it's amazing. So I would love for stuff like that to be a thing. But I'm thinking that the wolf and the cat would like share the same role. So I don't think
Okay.
there's gonna be a cat. I think the
Hmm.
wolf is the cat basically, which I'm
Interesting.
not too bummed about. I'm fine with the wolf. I think it's gonna be cool, but I am still holding out for that third form, thinking that it could be something really cool, maybe slightly more up my alley. Um, but even then, I think it's probably gonna be the wolf is like my main form
Yeah.
because I think the third one's gonna be something kind of freaky.
Ooh, yeah. We want something freaky, guys, right? But I will throw a little bit of hope your way. Back in 2019, when PoE2 was first revealed, there was a cat form listed as coming, and it was attached to a Huntress Ascendancy class. It was a Ranger Ascendancy class back then, but I think that might be the missing third Huntress Ascendancy. It's called the Beastmaster. So maybe there's a
Oh,
form exclusive, and it's a cat form. Then you could pop in, play a little bit of Huntress, get your kitten on, right? They'll
yeah, no, that would be awesome.
There'll be Black Cat MTX, Tabby Cat MTX, all Tiger MTX. I'm sure every single one. So yeah, limitless. Honestly, I'm shocked they didn't put this in PoE 1 because this is microtransaction heaven for grinding gear games.
Yeah.
They're about to get
Yep.
filthy rich. Okay, so maybe Tencent said they had to make the Druid in PoE 2. You know, maybe it was instituted by them. Okay. Let's see. We talked Druid. We talked predictions. Let's see. Anything else 0.4 that you wanted to touch on? We have a few other things that I wanted to talk about. I know we're getting near an hour, so I'll try to be quick. But anything else about 0.4 Vinidiction?
No, I mean,
Okay.
generally, I'm just super excited for it. I do think the end game has been in a little bit of need for a revamp. Um, and they've been like touching it up as we go. Like the mid league patch in 0.3, I actually thought was quite good. I know it was like kind of hit or miss for people,
Hmm.
but I actually think it was a step in the right direction. Obviously, getting rid of towers and kind of lowering the ceiling of maps and raising the floor, like kind of squishing it in the middle because it was just like rough. Like if you were a beginner or you weren't like really like a sweat basically, the difference between like the low end of mapping and the high end of mapping is just nuclear. Like it's literally insane. So like squishing it down a little bit, I think was good. And it also was just very annoying looking for 2, 3 tower setups and like everything else outside of that felt really bad. Um so I think they've made a lot of good steps, but generally I am excited for the big revamp.
Yeah. 0.4 should be exciting. We learn all about it in just under 8 days, so it'll be great. Now, Vinidiction, there is one topic, a little bit of a spicy topic, a PoE2 topic that I have to ask you about it. You know, if we got an interview with you, I want to talk about it, okay? So 0.3, I think, was pretty beloved, especially compared to the 0.2 launch. That one, a lot of people did not like it, okay? So with 0.3, you released a video about, I think it was called like Path of Exile 2 needs this, or like the PoE2 community needs to change or something. And it was talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, people either rage baiting or just hating on the game. And it was the catalyst for the tourist crash out that has now turned into a meme. I would argue, being in the PoE community for 6 years now, a few different gaming communities, one of the biggest creator centric like meme crash out fallout things I've ever seen. Okay. And your video was the catalyst of it. I actually agreed with a good chunk of stuff in your video. I thought it was pretty nuanced, and I've experienced many of the things that you called out in that initial video. So I wanted to ask you, because I don't think you made a follow-up on it. Maybe you talked about it on stream, but I was just curious, what was your take on, one, the fallout, and two, like the message it kind of ended up sending to the community? Because I'm sure you're well aware, like Zizarin reached out to the clip channels and said, yo, stop taking my clips out of context and making clear rage bait. They actually stopped doing that, which I think is a net positive for the community. So it ended up doing like quite a bit of good. So I'll let you take the floor. Go for it, man.
Yeah, well, what can I say? I mean, good times, good times. You
Mhm.
know, I brought the gasoline to the dumpster. Counteract showed up with the flamethrower, and history was made. I mean, it is what it is. For those of you that don't know, like a lot of people in the comments were severely confused, of course, but for those of you that don't know, I've never made a drama video ever before. And like a lot of people were coming to the comments saying, like, oh, this is how you get views, or like, oh, this is what you want to do, or whatever. But that's not the case. Like I had a very like well-hearted intention with the video. Like it was not like a lot of people probably won't believe that, but it's the truth. Like I love the game, and I had seen both in 0.1, 0.2, and then of course in 0.3 as well, almost the same thing happen every time where
Mm.
the league launched. Like there's so much hype building up to the league, which is good for the game. And then the league launches, and of course, there are people who are like happy and are having a good time, but there is this looming like negative sentiment around the game that has been present in all three leagues. And when it came to 0.3, it was like the patch was so good to me. It was such a hit, such a banger. And then I woke up the next day and I like saw that same thing and I was just like, I can't take it. Like I just like somebody has to say something about this. And like as a community, we need to like try and do a little bit better, make a change. Um, the video was not perfect. Like, obviously, that goes without saying. I've never made a video like that before, so I didn't expect it to be perfect. Some people did, but like, that's on them. It is what it is. I still stand by a large majority of actually what I said in that video.
Yeah.
One thing that I think I maybe could have formulated a little bit better is that I should have directed a bit more of the blame towards the clip channels, which I didn't really
Mm.
do in the video at all. But that's like a very nuanced topic because I mean, there's a lot of analogies you can give, and not everyone's going to agree with all of them. But it's like blaming a cop for giving a speeding person a speeding ticket, or it's like I don't know. There's like a lot of analogies you can come up with, but I mean, if you want to be like really straight to the point, it's like, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, you're taking these clips out of context," and it's like to some extent I am, but the context that you're referring to is putting their entire 10-hour stream in my 15-minute video. So like,
Mm.
obviously, I'm not able to do that. And I mean, let's just be straight here. Like, if a content creator 99% of their stream is family friendly, not making any slip ups or whatever, and then for 1% of the stream, they drop a racial slur, like everybody's taking that out of context and nobody's going to care. So it's like,
Mm.
I just think
That's a good analogy.
yeah, as a
Yeah.
streamer, you have some level of responsibility to be mindful of the fact that whatever you say can and will be clipped out of context, no matter what, and could be pushed to a much wider audience and have a much more lasting effect than what it did on your stream.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you know,
I think
I'll let
that's
you
well
take the floor
said.
for a second.
I think that's well said. I love the opening, with the dumpster fire analogy. That was really good. I think that's very apt. I gotta say, man. So, as someone who gets hate, so there's obviously what you were addressing mainly, I think, was the rage bait, right? Because there are a lot of creators who obviously they rage bait. Some of them do have like truly negative sentiment. Some of them play it up massively. Some of them, I think, where it goes too far is when they like personally attack like developers, people, company, like just attack the game, call the game absolute. I try not to swear. Call the game absolute crap, right? Lay out how it's bad. a lot of people go to the next level and they start to like personally attack people. And that's happened a few times in the PoE community. And I don't think anything in like 0.2 or 0.3 or even 0.1 rose to the previous levels. And people, PoE 1 veterans will know what I'm talking about right now. But I still think it's bad. And it's just not, I think, good for the overall soul of the community. So I thought that was great that you called it out. I've called it out before too, but because I'm in like I'm in the opposite camp. I'm like I'm like known as I've never said a bad word about grinding your games ever. I've never said a bad word about Path of Exile 2. I love the game. I want it to have my babies. Right. So that's like the caricature people have of me. So when I call that stuff out, people kind of dismiss it. So I think when you called it out as someone who was like making build guides, making farming guides, I think no drama, by the way, right? The video got around like 50K views. Your other videos were blowing that out of the water. You literally, as you said, you're just saying, hey, I wanted to address it, right? I made some mistakes with the way I did it, but I agree with the overall sentiment. I do as well. And I think at the end of the day, dude, it did good for the community. You know, like your video was the catalyst for like Ziz and maybe some other content creators too to reach out to those clip channels that were propagating everything that people were feeding, and it was coloring their perception about like Rax, DM, Zizarin, like King Kongor. Notice the creators I'm naming who actually love the game, right? And they just have frustration with it. That's all of us. I was joking earlier, guys. I've flipped out at PoE 2 before, obviously, and I have problems with the game. But you know, for the most part, those are very positive forces in the community. And I think it is good to call out people who are purely just trying to stir up crap. So, and I feel like that did stop a little bit. We'll see what happens in 0.4. Over under on if it happens again. What do you think? Think it's going to happen again?
I think it'll happen.
Yeah,
Again,
I think so too.
To be perfectly honest, I think it will.
I think so
I don't know
too.
what it is about this game. It just
people are passionate.
Breeds that energy.
People are so passionate, man. They freaking.
And they have a reason to be. To be fair,
and
that is the thing I kind of messed up on as well. Is like I kind of underestimated the amount of passion that the PoE 1 players have because of the amount of money that some of these people have invested into the company, into microtransactions, supporter packs, all these things. And I can kind of sympathize with that. Like, you know, you invest a lot of your support into GGG for PoE 1. PoE 2 comes out, and a major selling point is that it's not going to be like PoE 1. So, you know, it's like I can understand that, which I maybe should have, you know, touched on that a little bit in the video. I didn't, but you know,
dude, it's a 10-minute video. You can't stuff all that crap into you, right? Exactly, on a very, it's a very nuanced topic, right? And I saw a lot of like people hating on you in the comment, and dude, it just happens. I hope it didn't like disincentivize you to like do anything, because that's kind of stuff just happens. I was so sensitive at the beginning of the year, dude. I took so much to heart. Like, so I made a video very actually similar to yours that I said a lot of stupid things in that video. It was called like the massive Path of Exile 2 hate is ridiculous. It blew up similarly. Asmongold reacted to it. I said so much dumb crap. I also got similar hate in the comments. I was calling out kind of the same thing. But it was more so like the community, not content creators. Oh my gosh. And I got so dejected after that. And then the same thing happened in 0.2. Where I tried to call it out again, and I was like being positive because I enjoyed the game too and the game state, and I voiced that. And it was the same stuff. And I just realized, you know, people are so passionate, you know, and as long as they're not making death threats and crap, okay, let them do it. Whatever. I don't care. Go for it. You know?
Yeah, I will say this is not to be like a pity party, but it was crazy. Like I've never, nothing else comes close to being as close as I was to quitting content creation after that video. Thankfully I didn't.
I get it. Good. That's all I'm saying. Like, good. Yeah. You didn't. Kelterac didn't. People, and I don't think you really made like any massive mistake. I feel like Cal did, but I don't feel like you did. But it's good that you didn't quit and you just learned from it and you moved on, because you fail fast. Okay, that's like, I love that saying. Okay, you just learn from the experience and you move on. I'm glad you didn't quit, dude. I'm glad, because I know that was probably an absolute just maelstrom of chaos. So, oh God.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy too, because the first day the video had overwhelmingly positive feedback. Like every single comment, it was like a 99% like ratio. My channel average is like 97 or something like that.
Holy.
Overwhelmingly positive in the comments. That video
And it
over the
circulated.
course of the next 3 to 4 days went down to like 60% like ratio, and the comments got really nasty. And I have no ill will towards Caltrack. Let me just clarify that really quick.
Yeah.
But when he hid his video, everybody that was reacting to his video, because they could still get to it via the link,
Yeah.
they were putting in the comments, here's this guy's video, but it's taken down now. So here's the original video. And the reaction, they wouldn't address anything I said. Like some of these people that were reacting, like how much I would have loved to just have a one-on-one with them, like live on stream, I don't care, or
Yep.
via Discord, whatever. We could hash out our beliefs, discuss it. It'd be a great time. I'd be respectful. But like they react to his video, don't address anything I say except maybe the last 5 seconds. They're like, oh, the guy who originally made the video, he wasn't super unhinged. But in the comments and then in the description, the hate is like
Yes.
funneled to
Yep.
me, which yeah, I have a couple pet peeves with comments, like people calling me a liar, people saying
Yeah.
stuff or saying I said stuff that I didn't say, which the amount of that, like the amount of people that think I called people tourists is crazy. It's crazy. I never yeah, I would never say
I
that
get
because
it.
I wasn't even playing PoE 1 before
Right.
this, like outside of the 1,000
Mhm.
hours. So
No,
you
I
know,
totally
but yeah,
get it. It hurt. I no pity party, but it does hurt, guys. Like the torrential when you are go from like in your personal life, say you like talk to maybe 20 people a week, okay? Your mom, your dad, your girlfriend, your brothers, your friends, you talk to, and then you're exposed to thousands of people throwing slurs and telling you things that you didn't say, and now you're like, oh, did I say these things? Like it's a lot to grapple with in your head. You can get lost within it. I've done that many a time, and it's taken like the past year to try like grow an armor essentially, because I realize that a lot of this, it's just people that are mad. This makes them feel good, right? I know what I say. Like I stand by my beliefs. I know what I say for the most part. And a lot of the stuff people say, I say, I do not say, and it's not true. And I feel the same with that video. Like I said, I agreed with probably like 90% of what you said in the video, right? And I think a lot of people felt that way, but the conflation really hurt, So yeah, I
yeah.
get that. I get it, man. Thank you for talking about it. I was very curious just to hear your take, and like I said, I'm glad you didn't quit. That's good.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate that too. And I'll just say two last little things for it. One, some people definitely gotta calm down a little bit with the comments. Like I was literally like you said, it's really bad, but I was getting pseudo dox slash people were threatening to dox me to like come to my house and like harm me and my family. And it's like it's a video game, guys. Like let's take a step back. And so it's like
Uh,
something like that where I'm a content creator. My
yeah,
my parents don't even know what I'm doing really. I
right.
told them I'm doing this podcast and they were like, "Oh, can we watch it? Can we show the family and stuff?" But it's like if
Yeah.
something happened to my family because of what I said about a video game,
So I just want
I
to.
would
I'm
like
gonna
lose my
interrupt you
mind.
because I got some really good advice a while ago, because this exact thing happened. So I'm gonna keep it as brief as possible. I might even cut it from the podcast, honestly. The live people, most of you guys are nice. That exact same thing has happened to me. Like people have threatened to dox me. They've death threats and everything. Fucking delete it and never address it, because it only gives them power. And it's like, hey, oh my gosh, I got to him. Oh God. And more people will see that and it will give them power, and they'll think, oh, it's getting into his head, or maybe it'll like inspire someone to do shit. I just never address it anymore. I like did that once, and another content creator gave me some great advice. He told me, do not give them any power, because that is one of the worst things that could ever happen. And if like you address it, you breathe life into it. So I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just think I feel so strongly on that, because it resonated with me. I was like, oh my God, you're so right, dude. So
Yeah, no, actually, I appreciate that.
yeah,
I
100%,
appreciate
100%,
that.
100%. I might cut that
That's
from the
actually a good
podcast.
point.
So no, 100%. And then you
No,
said
actually, yeah.
you had another point after that. I don't know if it relates to that or if it's something separate. I just wanted to interrupt you.
No, it's something slightly separate. And
Go
yeah,
for it.
feel free to cut
Yeah.
that from the podcast. Actually, it's probably better because yeah, after hearing what you
It's
said,
only for you.
I
Yeah,
actually
it's
do
like for our
completely
sake,
agree.
man. Yeah, 100%. So everybody in the live chat's nice. Okay, guys?
Yeah. Right?
Okay. We have an understanding.
um,
Okay.
but the other thing I was just gonna quickly add is that I feel like I got gaslit into genuinely almost believing that constructive criticism was like a figment of my imagination. Like, I feel like I was very strong in the video that I have no issue with criticism. I provided criticism for the game within the video itself, but I was trying to make a very clear distinction between I'm going to call the game poop or I'm going to call the developers liars, which that there's a whole side tangent about that I got into with a certain creator whose name shall not be named. But anyways, yeah, the amount of people that were basically just saying like feedback's feedback, bro, get over it. And it's like you are like, have you worked like a nope, I'm not gonna say that, but it's like in the corporate industry or like in most jobs, feedback is not just feedback. Like you have to be calculated with the feedback you provide. You can't just go up to one of your subordinates and say, "Oh, bro, you're terrible. Like figure it out." Like no, you need to give them a little bit of support. Say like you're doing great here, but let's work on this. Like here's an area that has improvement or room for improvement. A lot of people say, "Well, oh, I'm paying GGG, so I don't have to do that." And it's like that's fine. You don't have to do that, but you're not a content creator. Like you're not one of these streamers that are not only paying GGG but also making a living from a game that GGG has developed. I think it works out better for literally everyone involved if you take a couple seconds before you provide your criticism, make it constructive, and yeah, it's not that hard to do either. You know, it's like it's pretty simple. Everybody knows what it is. Everyone knows how to do it. But for whatever reason, people seem to want to believe that there's no difference between just pooping on a game and providing constructive feedback, which is just patently not true.
Yeah.
And that's like probably the biggest point that I would like. I'd die on that hill, 100%.
Yeah, you're speaking directly to me, man. So that's why I've really, like I said, that was one of the first videos that I saw of yours, personally, and I watched a few others, and I really respected how you conducted yourself. And that's a choice that we all make, not just like content creators, but people on the internet. You choose how you conduct yourself, and it can be a reflection of how you are in real life. You can take on a persona if you'd like to, and I choose to take on the person I am in real life. Like I choose to be that way. And a lot of people might see that, like what you were saying there, a big term that was thrown around for me personally, I don't know if you got this, was toxic positivity, because I always like said criticism, but then I also like said compliments. I'm like, hey, enjoy this. This is bad. Or I tried to phrase things in like a polite way instead of just, you can give the criticism and you can say, oh, this is crap for X, Y, and Z reason. And you can be really extravagant about it and really like polarizing. And maybe you get the point across better. And it sounds more authentic. It sounds more real, because I do think in today's day and age, a lot of people do speak like that. They're constantly swearing. They're constantly making hyperboles, and they're saying, oh, this is the worst thing ever. This is the best thing at right. And I intentionally try not to do the former, calling things like the worst thing ever. I think where I slipped, and I think this was valid, is like calling, saying the best thing ever and constantly exaggerating in that positive direction. It's like the mediation, constantly doing that in my head. Even if I feel that way, I like try a little bit better to moderate myself, to provide criticism and feedback in the best way possible. Like highlight the bad, highlight the good. It's like a constant battle is all I'm trying to say. And I appreciate, and I think you've conducted yourself well, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate a lot of people who conduct themselves like nicely in the comments. You can crap on me all you want. Don't lie. Don't call names. There's no need to do any of that. You can say I'm the worst person ever and here's what. That's good. But don't call me a shithead and lie about it. There's no need to do that. Same with Vinidiction. You don't need to do that about anybody. Even if it provides you a little bit of temporary joy or excitement, there's like no need to do that, guys. Trust me. In the long run, it hurts your soul. Hurts your soul, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that was a good bookend to that little topic. Now, there is one question I always ask everybody at the end of these podcasts the first time I talk to them, Vinidiction. And that is, you're now Jonathan Rogers. You're being asked to play the game on stream live to prove that you actually play Pee-wee 2 and aren't just a tourist, okay? You get to put one thing in the game, anything you want, a league, an item, a class, an ascendancy, change up a system. What would you put in Path of Exile 2 if you were the game director?
Okay, so I've got three of them, but two of them I've already touched on. So I'll just briefly reiterate those. Third Ascendancy for the Sorceress to be Spellblade instantly, and then Target Dummy instantly. I
Okay.
would put both of those in the game.
Boom, boom. Get on it,
Yep, boom,
programmers.
boom. And then and then the next one, which I haven't mentioned at all, which I don't know. I don't know how people would feel about this one. It's kind of like thinking if I was really the game director, but I would add mounts. Like it would be such an unbelievable money move. Like it'd be better than Druids. Like it would be so
How
crazy
would
how
you add
much
mounts?
money.
More like Roa type skills?
No, I'm talking more like
Cosmetic?
kind of like steal it from Diablo 4 in a sense. Like they would have to like put the GGG spin on it, but something that allows you it could be purely cosmetic
Oh
too,
my
like if they
god.
wanted to, but I think it would be cooler if it was like 40% extra movement speed, but you can't like fight on the mount. It would be like
Bro.
after you kill stuff, you press a hotkey, you hop on your mount, you run to the next pack, or like after the map's over, you because I will say one thing I've noticed myself doing a lot is on certain builds, it's really annoying to stop for loot because you lose certain buffs or you lose things or like it just interrupts the flow. Like a good example is my Tempest Flurry, like hyper speed monk. You like can't stop. Like if you stop, you die. But
Mm.
if you keep going, you're like obliterating everything. It's crazy. But you can't stop to loot. So but you also move extremely fast. It's like you'd be on a crazy high speed mount when you're like moving. So I like blow through the entire map, kill the boss, and then I go backwards to pick up the loot,
Right.
which for other people, I mean, I don't know, there are probably certain builds that operate in a similar function where you don't really want to stop to pick up loot, but you don't have crazy high movement speed like I did on that build. So
Okay.
having a mount, like really for whatever purposes anybody wants to use it for, I guarantee you if they add them, people would buy them. Like
Dude,
I guarantee
I
it.
mean, okay. I think the areas are even though they're big, the big areas, I think they're too small for mounts. But dude, you're literally I can't believe you didn't say it. Sprint cosmetics. You just sprint, you
True.
hop on
Hey,
a
okay.
mount, dude. Oh my god.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
there you go. There you go.
bro,
No, there you go. That's
bro,
it.
you're like 40% movement speed increase when you press a button. In my head, I'm thinking he's talking about sprint. Say sprint.
True.
Dude,
Yeah.
sprint, mount, sprint, oh my god, dude. It's gonna happen.
That would be the GGG spin. That's how they would do it.
If
They
it's
exactly like you said.
dude, if it's not in 0.4, it's in 0.5. I
Yeah,
would, now that you say, I haven't even put two and two together, but they literally could do mount like just cosmetics for sprint, where you get on a mount,
Yep.
like a horse or a dinosaur or a roa or a rhinoceros. Oh my god.
And it's endless. Like it's literally limitless. The possibilities. Like if I was a game developer, like we'd be eating good after that change.
That's
That's all I could say.
that's crazy.
Um.
All right.
So yeah, I
Nice.
will say I could do one more if you
Go
want, if
for
we
it.
have time.
Yeah.
Okay, so a non or are there any other topics after this, or
No,
would this
this
be
we
the
can
final?
close it out after this. What's the last thing you'd add?
So yeah, so for like a non microtransaction one, and this is super broad, obviously. So it's like the scope of this is like going to be a little bit. I don't know how they would tackle this, but we kind of touched on it before, which was to revamp the curve of player power progression.
Yes.
Um, actually, I played Last Epoch when it had like a big league back in like a month or two after 0.2 came out or whatever. I'd
Okay.
played it for like 50 hours before that a long time ago.
Mhm.
And then I came back to it because there was a bunch of hype around it. And it really kind of indicated to me how important the player power curve is because I think it was way off in Last Epoch. Just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree. That's perfectly fine. But that's just my opinion. And then when I came back to PoE 2, especially in 0.3, and kind of like how we talked about before, it just started to feel a little bit off for me.
Hmm.
In particular, it's like from from Act 1 to Act 3, it feels relatively stable.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden you take off like a rocket
Yeah.
and you're extremely strong. And then at some point around map, it gets a little bit weird. Like I'd have to like draw it out to maybe make it a little bit better. But essentially, once you get to maps, it kind of gets a little bit different. Where the problem there for me is that the first 5 to 15 divines that you spend, I actually ran a poll in my YouTube community about this, and like the answers were overwhelmingly congruent with this. So it might be a little bit of confirmation bias, but I don't really think so. Like I've experienced it a lot. The first 5 to 20 divine you spend increase your power exponentially. Like every
Mm,
item you upgrade, you feel a big difference and you feel like you're getting stronger, you feel like you're getting tankier. It feels really good. And then you get to T15 maps, you're obliterating everything. Like if you have 5 divine to spend, you're obliterating everything at T15 maps. Then you jump up to like 40% delirious with abyssal on top, and you start dying to air. Like you're obliterating everything, but you also die to air unless you have like a really well put together set of defensive layers. Like you can't do energy shield only anymore. It's not good enough. You'll unless you have a lot of divine to spend.
right.
If you're doing evasion plus energy shield, you'll be like pretty much good to go. To be fair, because that's insanely strong. But it gets really rippy. So it's like you're obliterating everything from T1 to T15. Then you add delirious and abyssal, and you all of a sudden just die to air. And then you spend like 10 more divine, and you're obliterating everything again. And then you're kind of just at the point where you're quite literally one-shotting the hardest bosses in the game with a decent chunk of builds after spending like 20, 30, 50 divine. And there's like nothing else to go for other than just instead of killing a boss in 3 seconds, I kill a boss in 1 second.
Right.
And nobody cares about that,
Mm.
truthfully. Like, I mean, people in the YouTube comments sometimes do, but like realistically, nobody playing the game actually cares. Like, if I kill the boss before he can get a move off, I'm good to go. But I get there way too quick. So I'm looking for like a more linear
Curve.
curve, like less of a curve, really, like more of a straight line.
Mm,
And maybe at a certain point, it like gets a little exponential.
right.
But right now, it's kind of like all over the place. Like,
I get
especially, I
that.
mean, another good example is Jamin Ra, the final boss of Act 2. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar. In some cases, it feels like you can mop the floor with everything up to him, and then you get to him, and it's like, this guy's taking me like 5 minutes. Like, what is going
Yeah,
on here?
dude.
Like,
Yep.
why is he so tanky?
Mhm.
Um, so and I mean, yeah, also like the Viper boss in Act 3, like that's another pretty good example. Your first character of the league, that boss is so scary. Like I
Yeah.
pray for people playing hardcore at that time. Like it's probably so rough.
Ri-
But yeah, I would love to see a more smoothed out
Curve.
curve.
Okay. So a smoother like progression slash difficulty curve in the game itself.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's definitely fair and something a lot of okay, a lot of my viewers might like to see. I would love to see it as well. I love the feeling and the initial campaign, and then like you said in maps, it just feels funky, right? I almost feel like T1 to T15 kind of feel the same, and it feels like there should be a change up there, you know? Like you should feel the
Yeah.
the progression. I get people are like, "Oh, well you can stepping stone all the way from 1 to 15. How cool." I don't know. I feel like that might be for a lot of us, that might be the journey of the league, at least for me, going all the way from
Mhm.
there and then killing Arbiter for the first time. So yeah, I think this end game patch should address progression in some way, whether it's the Atlas tree, the way you traverse it, and all that. It'll be cool to see, man. This was a good
Yeah.
one. This was a good one, Vinidiction. Dude, did you have anything else that you wanted to touch on or say? This is awesome. Oh my God, we went an hour and a half. Holy crap.
Yeah, no, like I said at the beginning, I absolutely appreciate the opportunity. It was an absolute blast and honor. I think we share quite a few views about the game. We definitely, people were definitely lumping both of us into the toxic positivity camp, even though, I mean, we both know that we criticize the game just in a calculated way.
Yep.
And it is what it is. But like, I would like personally, I'm a big believer in spreading positivity. Like, I
Ditto.
think the
Ditto.
world is like severely deteriorating over the last 20, 30 years, especially with online culture. Like it's like we need more people to be positive. Like we need it.
Oh, and
So
it seeps into the real world too, man.
yeah, no, 100%.
I went to this place a few weeks ago. We stayed there. It was like a water park, and I'm carrying like 4 suitcases in because I'm an idiot and I'm trying to carry everything all at once, right? And I'm walking up to the door, and there's this family going in, and this dad is holding open the door for his wife and his daughter. And he locks eyes with me, right? And they walk in, and I'm like 15 feet away trying to make it to the door. And he locks eyes with me, and I say, hey, can you hold the door, please? He locks eyes with me, looks down to the ground, and like walks through the door and closes the door behind him. And I'm like, maybe he was a hater. I don't know. Maybe he recognized me, but like it seeps everywhere, and I hate it. So that's why every time I try to interact, I do try to exude that. Like I share my frustrations, but you can share frustrations in a way that isn't like trotting over people, knocking over, lift people up, don't knock them down. You know?
Yeah, I completely agree. I completely agree.
Well, this was a good chat, man. Thank you so much for it. We'll have to do it again, maybe in 0.5, 0.6 or something like that. I really appreciate the time, dude. If you ever need anything, ever want to collab, just let me know. I'm not very smart though. I'm more of a vibes-based gamer. So I'm the guy who watches your guides to learn how to do things. So I really appreciate it.
That's what they're there for.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody in the live chat, everybody in the VOD. Make sure, don't just like this video and subscribe to this channel. Go over to Vinidiction's channel, your Twitch, your YouTube. Everything will be in the comments below. Make sure to go give him some support. Sounds like you'll be blasting Wolf Druid, or maybe if there's a cat in 0.4, you'll be doing that too. Should be fun. Thanks so much again, everybody watching. Thanks so much. Good night. Have a good one. See you guys. Bye-bye. All right. Vinidiction, thank you so much. That was awesome, man. That flew by. That was very quick.
Yeah, that was awesome.
You did great. You killed it. What do you mean? Stumbling over your words. I stumbled over my words more than you did.
Yeah, I don't know. I like to just set the expectations low, but I actually do have like a bit of like maybe not public speaking talking, but a lot of people think I was like jobless before becoming a content creator because I'm so young, but I had a decent job where I had to like do a lot of speaking in front of people that were making a lot more money than
you.
So,
yeah.
So I had to learn quick, and I had really, really great teachers as well, thankfully.
Nice.
Like not in school, but at my job. Like, who really
me too, dude.
For me.
Me too. I did not have good teachers at school. It was all in the workplace, man. Are you full time content creator right now?
Yeah, at the moment I am.
Oh,
so
nice.
actually, I was thankful enough, like I said, to have that job, and I was able to, I guess, I was able to like put some money aside basically, and actually be able to go in full time. And yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I will say for a while it was like pretty shaky. It's still actually a little shaky. Like I don't think I'm definitely, I don't want to get into the details too much.
You don't need to. No,
I couldn't sustain off content creation right now. I'll say that much.
Got it.
Also, funny topic. I know one of the topics you mentioned, we didn't really talk on it too much, was like being a PoE2 only creator.
Yes.
I don't know what, I don't even know if this is like something you would want to talk about on stream. So feel free to cut me off if you want. But the YouTube monetization for PoE2 is like whack. Like something's like wrong.
Really? Okay. Like, what do you mean? Go for it. I'm curious because it's way better than PoE1. Let me tell you that, bro.
If that's the case, then I feel so bad for the PoE1 creators. Like that's actually crazy to find out because I started this second channel for our creators. And it's up to 2,000 subs now or whatever. I've been having a great time playing Arc Raiders. I absolutely love that game. And those videos, I'm not joking. I'm being deadly serious. Make 4x the revenue.
Wow, the RPM? Are they longer videos, or is it just same length and everything?
They're usually shorter, to be honest. Like because my build guides in PoE2 are like 28, 30 minutes. Like I've got a couple of long videos in Arc Raiders, but like a 20,000 view video in Arc Raiders makes the same total net revenue as like a 100,000 view video for PoE2.
Okay, so I don't do build guides, but I've talked to some people who do. Do people pop in to your build guide, take your like POB and leave? Like is the average view duration like a minute 30 in a 30-minute video versus the Arc Raiders? I don't know if I haven't played Arc, so is it like, are you doing highlight videos? Are you doing build guides? Like, are people watching the whole Arc Raider video so the AVD is way higher? That's what my mind would immediately go to.
So There is a slight variation, but
Okay.
it's not nearly as big as I would have originally anticipated.
Okay.
So like my build guide videos, the average view duration for like a 25 to
Yeah.
30-minute video is about like 9 minutes.
That's really
Um,
good, dude. Holy
yeah,
crap.
that's yeah, exactly.
That's killer.
And
That's killer.
but even still, like so the videos that have done really well for my Arc Raiders channel are like these loot route videos. Like I've tried making like PvP and
Interesting.
highlight videos because
Yeah.
at heart I'm really a PvP player. Like that's what I
Got
love.
it.
I love competitive games. Arc Raiders isn't really a competitive game. I'm
Yeah.
fully aware, but it is an extraction shooter. And the PvP videos, for whatever reason, not hitting. People
Okay.
not vibing with those really. But the loot route videos are like going crazy. And the average view duration is like maybe like a minute or two longer. Like it's really not a
Interesting,
significant,
dude.
it's definitely nowhere near like 2x as long in
That's
Arc Raiders. But the
curious.
revenue increase is crazy. Like the RPM on one of my Arc Raiders videos is over $9.
That's pretty crazy. That's pretty
Yeah,
crazy.
like
I mean, let me just I mean, I can pull up the analytics. I've shared this with people before. What is my RPM? Wait, why is RPM like the last why doesn't it have RPM anymore? It's not listed as a thing? I don't see it on my analytics tab. People are so entertained right now. Oh, okay. There it is. Okay, so on my regular videos, so just regular video, not shorts or live, my RPM is 536 on my main channel. For shorts, it's 30 cents. And for live, it's $8.85. My lives are pretty good. Thank you guys for watching the lives. I appreciate you guys. Shout out. Make sure to like the video, bros. That's so interesting. I wonder if it's a different demo, because I know some demos pay more. Like it's gaming. Gaming is the like niche, right? Because I know different niches pay
yeah.
more on YouTube. That's crazy. Like $9 for an Arc Raiders loot route. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
actually,
Wow.
like this one, I don't know how much. I mean, I could just put the number, like the real numbers out there if you're
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, I'm curious.
So
As long as you want to
this
share.
yeah, so this
That's
one
fascinating.
video that I posted a few days ago, November 21st, it's at 76,000 views,
Okay.
which is quite good for the channel size.
Yeah.
It has an RPM of $15.
What, bro? Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it is. This
Okay.
one video has made more money than any of my videos ever have on my main channel, and I have videos on my main channel with well over 200K views. Like this
Okay.
video has made over $400.
That's
Like it's like
insane.
not even remotely close. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why that is, but like if somebody could get on that, like I don't know
Right.
if that's possible,
YouTube guru.
but
So, and
yeah,
for
like
people who don't know the terms, RPM is revenue per meal, and that's revenue per 1,000 views. Okay.
correct. Yep.
So what Vinidiction's saying is that Arc Raiders video is $15 per 1,000 views. That is what the heck? I don't enjoy
Yeah,
Arc Raiders. I
like
can't play it, but wow, congrats to you. That's killer, man. For a new channel, 2K subs. Congratulations. What's your new channel?
yeah,
I don't know if
like
anybody plays Arc Raiders. They could go and sub to you if you want to shout it out.
it's just Vini dash Arc Raiders.
Vinny
Super
Arc
simple.
Raiders. There you go. If there's any Raiders
Yep.
in the chat, my friends have been trying to get me to play it really bad.
Hey, it's super
So
fun. Hey,
I
anytime,
yep,
hit me up
there you
anytime.
go.
I'd be happy to take you into some free loadouts
Yep.
or give you some juice or whatever. We'll have a good time.
100%. It's $40, right? Just
Yeah, I
40
think
bucks.
yeah, 40
See,
bucks.
so I maybe if I find myself having some free time, maybe I'll pick it up. I have I'm telling myself to try new games after trying Expedition 33. Seeing because I never played other games. I like played PoE, PoE 2, Hades. It's like 3 games I play. Age of Mythology. And I tried Expedition 33, and I promised myself, you will try new games. You will try new games, because it ended up being probably one of my favorite game of all time. Like just how impactful it was. So obviously, I don't think I'll play it more than like twice. But the story, I talk about the story all the time still with my friends and stuff. So like that type of game. Okay. All right, dude. Well, this is great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna cut this up and I'll post it. I'll share it with you and everything, dude. I really appreciate it. This was really good.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Do you mind if I post this as well to my main channel?
No, I don't care. No, go for
Okay,
it.
awesome. Thank you so
No,
much. I appreciate it.
100%. Yeah, go for it, dude. Yeah.
Alrighty,
All right.
take it easy, Twitch
Yeah.
chat. Take it
Yeah.
easy, Troy. Love you guys. Appreciate you for having me, and I'll catch you next time.
All right. See ya. Have a good night, man.
Peace.
Bye. All right, chat. Did you guys enjoy that? WL, how'd you like the pod? You got a little extra pod there too. That went way longer than I thought it was going to go. Oh my gosh, that was a good chat. Yeah, I also was really curious to hear his thoughts on that tourist video because he went silent on it afterwards. Whoa, try in the dark. Was good. W. Great. I'm glad you guys really enjoyed it. Okay. Yeah, that was good talk. How is it hard to wait for next PoE2 patch? That's like getting excited for cleaning your cat's litter box. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Do we have a PoE2 disliker in the chat? Hey, for what it's worth, Vivid Vulture, I'm also excited for the next PoE1 patch. I really enjoyed 3.27. So, what's that? March? February? Excited for that too. Yep. Ah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that was good. That was really good chat. It was insightful. Let me send him a message. There you go. To be frank, PoE2 is bad until we get those Druid teasers. You're right. I should start spewing forth how bad PoE2 is until Grinding Gear Games drops some sick Druid teasers. You think that it will work, guys? I just start posting PoE2 hate videos? I think that might work. I mean, Talkative Try goes nuclear on Path of Exile too. That seems like a good YouTube video. I bet a lot of people would click on that video, guys. What was the Vinidiction video you guys were discussing? Here you go. I'll link it. I'm not going to react to it, but I'll link it. Whoa. That went a little bit wild. Vinidiction. Videos. This is hurting PoE2. There you go. Right there. Yeah, and remember, guys, he didn't call anybody a tourist. Let's just be clear. Whoa, it shows the thumbnail in my chat? That's crazy. I didn't know that. Wow. Were there any teasers, guys? No teasers? Literally no teasers. They're going radio silence, guys. By the way, I don't know if any of you guys are fans, but I just booked 787 Prada for the podcast. Any 787 Prada fans here? I think he's only made PoE2 videos. Prada fans? Oh yeah, he pissed some people off. Prada, Holy Prada. Nice. What time is it in? Yeah. Whoa. A lot of Prada fans in the chat. Good, because I've seen some of his videos and they're pretty sick. It's gonna be late December, early January. Sorry guys. Sorry. It's good. It's gonna be post league launch. I was like, who plays PoE2 longer like I do? Well, 787 Prada. So I booked him in late December, early January because I know he'll still be playing. He's still playing right now. He's very good. Love Prada. You should ask him about the tourist video too. He had some strong opinions on it. I will, Vinidiction. No face reveal. He asked if he had to do face cam. I said, no, bro, you don't have to do face cam. I wonder if my wife is up, you guys. I'm going to text her. If she's asleep, she's going to be really mad. Let's see. Are you up? Beautiful. Are you up? Beautiful goddess. Let's see. See if she responds, you guys. 3:45 in New Zealand. There's no teasers today, guys. It's not happening. That was it. Let's see if she responds. I'll give her a second to respond. We've been trying to get them. I would never force anybody to face reveal, guys. They don't want to show their face. They don't want. Thanks for the sub, Vinidiction. Thanks, dude. Also, DM stopped in for like a moment and subbed to me. I don't know if you're still here, DM, but thank you, bro. I didn't know you were streaming. Is he still streaming? Wait, DM's still streaming? He's not streaming. Well, okay. I was gonna say, if he's still streaming, maybe I could try to hop on his stream. But yeah, we'll try to do something. Maybe he'd be down for the pod. Maybe, or I could do his stream, because I think he invited me first, so I'm not gonna ask him to come on my podcast because he invited me to talk about PoE 2, the Druids specifically. So I don't want to be like, well, come on my podcast, sir. I think he wants to make a video. Oh, my beautiful goddess is up. Sweet. You right there, babe. Okay. Well, guys, today has been a stream. We did not burst, okay? We did not burst. The Druid is coming, okay? 7 days to the reveal. You know I'm going to be here. You know I'm going to be here. We got some podcasts next week. We have the hype reveal on Thursday. I will be live. I took a half day at work, so you better be on this stream ready for me to burst, okay? And I'm not going to use the word nut, okay? Going to watch it live together. It's going to be super fun. Got a lot of stuff after that. Huge podcast planned. Should be an interview with Jonathan Rogers as well on an undisclosed date that I do know. There's going to be some massive announcements next Thursday that I am just so excited for. And that's all I can say about them. I really appreciate you guys watching, whether you're in the live chat, whether you're watching the VOD. Remember, if you're in the VOD or in the live chat right now on YouTube, make sure you like the video, support the channel. On Twitch, I'm gonna throw you guys over to Prada. Is Prada playing PoE 2? Let's see, Prada. Yep, PoE 2. Holding down the fort. All right, guys, we're sending you over to Prada. Have fun on his stream. Once again, thank you to Vinidiction for guesting on the pod. Druid hype. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in America who celebrates. I'm going to be eating a lot of turkey and wishing it was chicken tomorrow and Friday. And watching Ohio State crush Michigan on Saturday. Very unfortunate. And church on Sunday. So that's my weekend. Might see a video for me, might not. Definitely the podcast. All right. Yeah, go blue indeed. Go blue. Good night, everybody. Have a good one. Stay sane, exiles. Thank you. Oh, I'm still live on YouTube. Good night.